so it begins. 22 teams resume their quest for the Edgenelf Cup and the honor of being crowned the best of the WHL. Tonight, the defending champions from Kelowna drop the puck on the 09-10 season as they play host to their provincial rivals from Vancouver. Get set to light the fuse. These teams are ready to blast off. The WHL on Shaw is back, and it starts now.
A beautiful day in the sunny Okanagan. Great day to be on the lake. Even better day to be inside Prospera Place. Just 4 months after watching the Kelowna Rockets capture their third WHL Championship title on home ice, we are back in the Okanagan for the opening of the 2009-2010 season. As expected, a packed house will be on hand to watch another banner raised to the roof to acknowledge the accomplishments of the Rockets, who, of course, won the WHL Championship last spring. Tonight, it'll be Kyle St. Dennis and the rest of his Kelowna Rockets taking on their provincial rivals from Vancouver, who, of course, were knocked out by Kelowna in the Western Conference Final. Should be a fantastic way to start things off here in the 44th season of WHL hockey. Good evening, and welcome to Kelowna and Prospera Place. My name is Dan Elliott. Happy along here with the WHL on Shaw for another season. Pleased to be joined now by a couple of regular contributors to the WHL on Shaw. First on the outside, Cam Moon, the voice of the Red Deer Rebels. Cam, great to see you.
Good to be here.
And Doyle Pottentoe, from columnist for the Kelowna Daily Courier. Great to have you back, Doyle.
Thanks, as always. Appreciate to be here.
Well, lay down the rundown for everybody of how things are going to go. We're probably about 40 minutes actually from puck drop. We got about a half-hour pregame show, and then, of course, we'll cover the opening ceremonies and the festivities that go along with that in its entirety. So, but first, we got a couple of issues to cover here with Cam and Doyle. And guys, we're going to get started right away. And it was a big off-season in the WHL with regards to coaching, because there's a lot of big-name guys that were brought in this off-season, likes of Craig Hartsburg, Mark Habscheid, Curtis Hunt. There's 8 new coaches, but maybe just first off, your thoughts on maybe just how impressive the list of coaches just got in the WHL.
If you're in the BC division, there is no easy nights off because you have Mark Habscheid in Chilliwack, Dean Clark up in Prince George. There's no easy nights here, and it is an amazing list of coaches. But I think the best coach right now with the best resume comes out of Everett with Craig Hartsburg. By far, his resume is immaculate.
It's great to see that at the Western League level right now, the amount of coaches that have had either coaching experience at the National Hockey League level or minor pro level, guys that have really put in a lot of games behind the bench. And you just look at right up and down the board, not just the guys that are new to the league, but certainly the amount of guys that have been in the league for a while. So we look at top-notch coaches all the way around across the league at this point, and it just seems to be getting better and better.
Do you think some of these teams are taking the model? I'll use the Vancouver Giants for an example. Of course, Don Hay in there. He's coached at the NHL level as a head coach. Do you think that they're seeing the success he's had at the WHL and teams are going, well, maybe this is a way to go to bring in guys who have that professional experience?
I had a nice interview today with Kelly McCrimmon of the Brandon Wheat Kings, and he was talking about how today's coaches are being brought in because the league gives the players a chance like that. And when you have young guys coming in, at the junior level, it's more important to have head coaches who really understand what's going on, because it's just not about X's and O's. It's also about having your players understanding that these guys are young men and they're developing through.
Well, and at the Western League level, it's more important than anything, really. It's your head coach. Your head coach and the guy that's doing all the scouting for you. The players are rotating. I mean, you're seeing the turnover every 3, 4, 5 years in some cases, guys are lasting, but for the most part, it's every 3 or 4 years, guys are moving on to pro hockey or university hockey. So if you don't have a real strong head coach in this league to keep that continuity and to keep things going in the right direction, it's pretty hard to have success.
No, I agree, because, I mean, without a good head coach, how do you build a tradition of winning in the dressing room? I mean, without the head coach, he is the nuts and bolt guy of everyday situations. Without a good head coach, without that pro experience, your team is going to struggle immediately.
Well, I'll give you an example because Kevin Connaughton, who's playing for the Vancouver Giants tonight, he was a third-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks this past entry draft. He was at the University of Western Michigan last year, decided to leave Western Michigan, come to Vancouver. One of the big draws for him was the chance to play for Don Hay.
Well, and that just says it right there. I mean, that in some ways, who's coaching the team could be a recruiting tool. And in that case, that's a genuine example of a guy wanting to go play for a team because the head coach is a proven winner at this level. Certainly, Don Hayes, you name it, he's done it here, either with the Kamloops Blazers or the Vancouver Giants.
And even in a small market like Swift Current this year, they're bringing in the likes of Mark Lamb, who, of course, former NHLer, was with the Dallas Stars organization for a long time. A small market, I mean, I know he's a Saskatchewan guy, but bringing him back, and I mean, they're making a statement as well.
Well, also, I think another big statement they're doing is in Calgary with Mike Williamson. Former Portland Winterhawk, he has great NHL experience behind him. To me, without that NHL experience, we're looking at a so-so season. But because he has the great assistant coaches like Joel Otto, you're looking at the Calgary Hitmen have a very good season.
And Williamson has over 500 games coached in this league with the Portland Winterhawks, so he's a very experienced guy behind the bench.
But that was probably the one name that didn't really have that cachet that everybody kind of expected.
I'm a firm believer that being a former NHL player definitely helps. I mean, you've been at the pro level, you're helping guys get to the pro level. But we look at a guy like Mike Williamson, who didn't play NHL hockey. That doesn't mean he's not a great coach. He's a great coach. Corey Clouston's now coaching the Ottawa Senators. He's a great coach. It's certainly for moving guys onto the pro level, it helps to have a guy that has played in the National Hockey League, but there's a lot of great coaches out there that haven't.
Brian Huskett being one of them.
That's exactly right.
Sure.
And another great coach who's out there who's looking for a job, and a lot of people may be surprised looking for a job. Michael Dick, of course, led Lethbridge to the WHL Championship 2 years ago. Cam, I know you talked to him over the offseason. What's he up to?
Well, I know he's working with the University of Lethbridge right now. That's his hometown of Lethbridge. I would be surprised if he's out of the Western Hockey League coaching for too long. I mean, it might not be back in right away, but he's a very good coach. I like to see good things happen to good people, and I would think somewhere down the line he's going to get another shot.
All right, let's move on to a new topic. And the big issue, last season was the fact that in the OHL they took some serious precautions when it came to fighting. WHL said they weren't going to make changes during the regular season. They said they would talk it over the summer, and they have done that, and they've sort of followed suit. We'll just kind of run over the basic rules in terms of fighting. Is that if you try to start a fight, it's thought about ahead of time. At the beginning of a period, you automatically get a game misconduct. If you fight, you can't take your helmet off beforehand. Sort of the rules that we expected to come in. Maybe just first, you guys' thoughts on the changes.
Well, this whole helmet ban removal comes from the aspect of the death of Don Sanderson, a 21-year-old who died during a senior men's game in Ontario.
So this right here is we're looking at not be allowed. This is a staging event which they're talking about where guys take off their lids.
And there's a bit of preening.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, so you're not going to see this anymore. Part of the reason is they say it's a safety injury aspect where they're trying to eliminate possible or potential injury to the player from either the player falling and hitting his head on the ice, concussions, severe injuries. So I'm okay with that aspect, but I'm also a fan of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, the old fighting rule of keeping your helmet on wasn't broken, so I don't see any need for that. It's a two-way scenario.
And the one difference, though, is in the OHL and the Q, if the helmet falls off during a fight, the referees will jump in right away. It's over. But I do know in the WHL, if the helmets come off during the fight, they will let the fight continue.
It'll be interesting to see how this affects things. So you can't.
Do you think it'll drop fighting? Do you think it will be less?
Fighting was on the decline anyway. I think it will definitely continue in that fashion. We're going to see less and less of guys tilting for sure. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, how many guys are going to break their knuckles on a helmet, or because there's no stepping back and squaring off, or are guys going to get jumped? I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions, and I guess we're going to find out over the course of this year. But it'll be interesting to see how it affects it. It won't completely eliminate it. I just don't see that happening. But I think we'll certainly see a decrease in the amount of fights.
Yeah, the sad thing I see is you have a lot of guys who are 20, 30-year-old guys who are also good fighters, and now you got the helmet rule, and you're going to see their hands being broken potentially on a helmet. You know, how is that going to affect your team if you know that you're a leading scorer or maybe you're top?
But I guess
Sure.
the biggest issue for the league is they're willing to put up with a hand injury if it's going to prevent a head injury.
That's exactly
And,
it. So.
okay, that makes sense. I'm okay with that.
It's a gray scenario. You know, to me, it's 90% gray. It's not a black and white issue, especially when you're involving fighting, and it's a tradition in this league. So
There will be a feeling out
yeah,
period, though.
for sure. It's a lot of people are going to have a hard time with it. Me, I'm still in the gray area, sitting on the fence. Whether
You're
it's a
not
good
quite
idea.
as bloodthirsty as everybody else, is
Oh.
what you're saying.
Funny thing is, I like boxing. But you know, anything to prevent injury.
All right, well, we could go on about this topic for about the next hour and a half, so
Probably.
we're going to move on. Two guys that potentially could be here are not here tonight, and they are former first-round picks in the NHL draft. Tyler Myers for the Kelowna Rockets, who's a Buffalo Sabres pick, and Evander Kane, who was drafted in the first round by the Atlanta Thrashers. I'll ask you first, Doyle, will Tyler Myers be back this year?
Flip a coin. My guess is he won't be.
Is there a benefit for him to be back here?
Yeah, you know, I think if you look at Luke Shen last year, projected to be a first-round pick, was Toronto Maple Leafs stole him. He finished with -12 and a plus-minus. Is that a great number? No, it's not. So that's an argument against having a young 18 or 19-year-old player in the NHL.
But a guy of his size.
Now, is Tyler Myers ready to play? Yes, he is. His benefit coming back would be another year of standout performances, experience. The downside is he would dominate at such a level it wouldn't be funny.
Cam, from your perspective, a guy like Evander Kane, it happened with the Vancouver Giants before. Gilbert Brulé, he went out to the Columbus Blue Jackets, did not work out for him going immediately to the NHL. Do you think it's a good idea for Evander Kane to be there? He's going to an organization in Atlanta which has had their troubles and not expected to be a front runner. Would it benefit him more to be in the WHL?
I think it's a case-by-case basis. For every time we see a guy like Gilbert Brulé who went a little early, we see a guy like Milan Lucic who goes and does just fine at the National Hockey League level. So Evander Kane, and that comes down to what the Atlanta Thrashers think is best for their player and best for their hockey team. Once he's signed to a contract, that decision is no longer in the player's hands. But it really is a case-by-case basis. And I think you've got to take a lot of things into consideration, not just the level of play, but also the level of maturity of the young man. All of a sudden, he's living on his own. He's in a big U.S. city. You know, he's coming from a big Canadian city, I suppose, so it's not that big a jump. But
you use the example of Milan Lucic, and you got a guy who goes in there, no pressure whatsoever. He's not a first-round pick. We don't expect him to come in and be a top 6 forward. Evander Kane, he goes there. Can he be a third or fourth line guy, or does he need to be a top 6 guy in Atlanta too?
I think he needs to be a top 6 guy in Atlanta. You know,
if he's playing fourth-line minutes.
If you're getting paid $985,000 a year, I mean, you got to be performing.
I mean, would it not be a better for a guy like that to come in here, rip up the WHL, go play World Juniors, try to lead Canada to another gold medal, and then take another run at the HL Cup?
Well, that's what we think. I mean that's easy for us to say. We're not running the Atlanta Thrashers and having to put a team on the ice and maybe think, hey, we're better off having this guy here and he's going to contribute for us, and we think he's ready to play at the NHL level. I mean, it's a tough decision. I think every NHL team that is in that situation with their first-round pick who could go back to junior probably agonizes over it, whether it's the way to go or not, and certainly we can all second guess it. That's easy to do after the fact, but that's got to be a tough decision because I don't know the mental makeup of Evander Kane. Right. I don't know what kind of kid he is off the ice. I don't know those things. I know how good a player he is on the ice. He's very good. He can probably play at the NHL level. It's the other stuff that has to be taken into consideration.
Well, I'll give you a couple other names too. Braden Shen, Scott Glenn, expect them both to be back in Brandon, mainly because they're hosting the Memorial Cup. But one name out for both, Jordan Eberle. Where's he end up this year? Will he be in Regina?
I think he'll be in Regina.
I agree. I think he'll be back in Regina.
All right.
With Kane, though, if you see him, I think Vancouver gets pushed to the top of the Western Conference if Evander Kane comes back.
Oh, he's a big part of any success.
Well, absolutely. We agree with that. All right, we're running out of time. We're under 4 minutes. I know. We go real fast. I know. We just started. I always like to do this at the beginning of the season. A player to watch, a guy we don't know so much about. We'll start with you, Doyle. Somebody to look out for.
Silver Tips, Thomas Easkirk, their goaltender. Going to be a great guy, going to be a fantastic puck stopper.
Well, and a guy who was unhappy with hockey in Kootenay, left for a while, back with Everett, seems to have rejuvenated his so-called career.
That he has. I am going to go to the Red Deer Rebels. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a first-round pick of the Red Deer Rebels. He was first overall 2008 WHL Bantam draft. And I'll tell you right now, this guy's going to get some points. He's had a great preseason.
Can I add a second one?
You sure can.
Brett Connolly, Prince George Cougars.
That's a
30
good one,
goals,
too.
60 points.
Absolutely.
This guy is a 3-year
Rookie of the
player.
year.
Yep, CHL player of the year. This guy's a 3-year guy. He won't be here for his 4th year. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And I will add one to the list. Michael St. Croix, standout rookie, will be in the Edmonton Oil Kings organization. I saw him play the U17s last year as a 15-year-old for the Western team. Outstanding, smaller guy.
And anytime you pick a guy, I mean, that catapults
I
him.
just want to say, I picked Tyson Barrie last year. I'm pretty sure he scored the game-winning goal in overtime to win the WHL final. I'm pretty sure.
I think he did.
I'm just saying.
Michael St. Croix.
All right,
It's looking
all right.
good for you
So,
right now.
He's fired up. Okay, now we go to the prediction part. Let's start out in the East. Who do you think will be coming out of the East?
Oh, that's a two-way show. It's the Brandon Wheat Kings, Saskatoon Blades, and it's everybody else after that.
Pick one. Don't
I'm
ride
taking
the fence.
Saskatoon.
Brandon Wheat Kings.
And I would go with Saskatoon. The same point. Goaltending an issue for me and Brandon. Will they make a move, do you think?
Yes, I think they will.
They'll probably make a few moves. I don't think they're going to make major tinkering during the year, but when you're hosting, you're always looking to load up.
Yeah. All right, out west, Kelowna Rockets are the defending champions.
Not for long.
Not for long. Who do you? I mean, it seems this year of all the years it's been really wide open in the West.
Yeah, this year West it's a parity all the way through, from 1 to 8. We're projecting that there's going to be no 100-point teams. You're going to see a lot of 70 to 80, maybe a 92-point team as your winner. Nothing really tight between it at all. 1 to 6, maybe a 10-point difference. It's going to be super tight this year, and it's going to be this way for the next 3 seasons.
Everett. What do you?
Vancouver.
Oh, there you
I
go.
want Vancouver. And
Vancouver.
We're
like the way
really agreeing today. I don't like
Something
this.
this isn't good.
Well, I like Everett. I like the fact that you mentioned Thomas Heemskirk in goal. They have Kent Simpson as well, who's a solid backup.
Yep.
They're going to be splitting on their goaltending chores that way, 1-2. So.
And 3 guys up front in Fraze, Toshkin,
Yep.
and Maxwell, all been in NHL camps, so I really think that'll benefit. Okay, Memorial Cup this year in Brandon, which means 2 teams get to go, so obviously Brandon will be there for sure. Who will be the WHL champion? Who will be joining them?
Brandon Wheat Kings, and flip a coin for out west, and it really
keep on
I know.
flipping a
but
coin. You cannot
There's
flip
no
a
there's
coin.
no dominant team out west this year. It's really.
But it could be a situation where Brandon doesn't even make it to the final. I mean, you could pick Saskatoon as well.
My wild card from out west, Spokane Chiefs. Their defense, led by Jared Cowan, going to be great. Goaltending, who knows?
Saskatoon. I think the Blades will be there.
I think the Blades will be there.
They're due.
And we talked about it off
And
the
all
top.
east.
A situation of good coaching.
Oh, I can't go
It's
with that.
topsy-turvy.
Can't go with that.
Okay,
Can't go
and
with
their
that.
goaltender, Adam Morrison. I was talking to a guy in Saskatoon last week, Dave Thomas, who does a lot of their games on radio, and he's talking about how he was drafted last year, and he had scouts coming out in practice to watch him because he wasn't playing because of Braden Holtby. So a lot of question marks about him, though.
I hear he's pretty good. Well, I didn't see him play last season, but I understand all reports they should be fine in
I got one
net.
question for you, Cam. Right beside me over here is the Ed Chanel Cup. Is your name here on this anywhere?
It is not.
It's not anywhere.
No. Could you work on that?
Well,
Get that on by the end of the game,
I'll
please?
see who I can talk to.
Maybe on the inside of the cup.
Yeah.
I know Ron Robinson will be joining me in between one of the periods of commissioner, so we'll see what he can do for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, guys, for joining me here to kick off the 09-10 season. It was a pleasure to have you both, and hopefully one of us is right in terms of our predictions.
Well, when you guys are both wrong, hey, we'll come to
times.
you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but lots more to come from here at Prospera Place. It's Game 1 of the WHL season. Vancouver taking on Kelowna. Lots more right after this. Welcome back to Prospera Place in Kelowna for Game 1 of the WHL season. Of course, excited to be here for the Giants and Rockets to kick things off. Probably about 20 minutes till puck drop. Of course, we'll have the entire opening festivities with the banner being raised to the roof for the 2009 WHL champions. Well, speaking of the WHL champions, a lot of questions surround the Rockets in terms of what kind of team will they have here in 09-10. Will Tyler Myers be back? Who will replace the scoring of the likes of Jamie Benn, Cody Allman, Michael Backlund, all who will not be here in Kelowna? And how about the goaltending situation? Will Mark Guggenberger be healthy? He's got a growing issue. Or will they be going with Adam Brown? Lots of questions to be answered. Unfortunately, we have Tim Morton here in Kelowna who went to try and find some answers.
One thing the Kelowna Rockets have going for them in 2009 is depth between the pipes, even though Mark Guggenberger will start the season on the shelf. That gives Adam Brown the opportunity to get on a roll and show what he can do. Last year, he was 18-5 with a goals against average of just over 2. And don't forget his Memorial Cup final appearance, which was solid.
It looks like a problem on paper, but when you've got two goaltenders that can arguably be number one goaltenders, that's great news. I think Adam Brown proved latter stages of last season that he indeed can challenge for the number one job, and that really puts Mark Guggenberger in a real tough situation because he enters the season sidelined due to the groin injuries.
On the back end, it looks like last year all over again. After Luke Shen made the Leafs as an 18-year-old, it's now looking like Tyler Myers has a shot in Buffalo as an 19-year-old. The Sabres are notoriously patient with their prospects, but then again, they may decide he learned all he could learn at this level in last year's playoffs where he was MVP. Still, the blue line core, with or without Myers, is still pretty good.
I guess if there is one tough thing without having him here, he would have been great to have around for some of the younger defensemen to help mold, but we're fortunate that a guy like Tyson Barrie and Colin Bowman have both been around to see Luke Shen and Tyler Myers play.
The club is strong defensively. You're not going to see that fire wagon hockey that we saw last season when the Rockets had Bannon Backlund and Ian Duvall and throw in so many different players into the mix there. Cody Allman, of course, another key loss. But I think the Rockets can win a lot of the 2-1, 3-2 games.
They may have to. Jamie Benn and Cody Allman combined for nearly 80 goals last season and will be sorely missed. Throw in Michael Backlund's graduation and you have 3 heavy shooters who will no longer work the power play and score the big goals. Sure, there will be other players moving up to the top 6, but you can expect this edition of the Rockets to spread the wealth around.
We need a group of 20-goal scorers, not a bunch of 30 and 40-goal scorers. So that's what I'm sure the coaching staff's going to work towards. And our young guys coming in, a lot of guys that we had an opportunity to keep last year and didn't, sent them back as 16-year-olds to play midget for another year, have come along real well.
A lack of scoring should be alleviated with the return of captain Colin Long, Brandon McMillan, who moves back up to the forward ranks, and Tyson Barrie, the team's power play quarterback. The Rockets will also get a good look at a first-round pick with major offensive upside.
Shane McColgan's going to be a guy that's going to be fitting in nicely with our group, and he'll be given an opportunity to contribute offensively and really improve his game defensively throughout this year.
One big loss is Evan Bludoff, who was outstanding in last year's final against Calgary. The younger Bludoff has a torn ACL and could be gone until March. Kyle Verdino just returned to skates last week after healing all summer from broken bones suffered in a car accident in his hometown of Phoenix. Some of the leadership should come from the players who return from NHL camps as tryouts. Colin Bowman is one of those unsung heroes who quietly does his job, plus 32 last year. Stepan Novotny is looking to increase his endurance after he faded late in the year. And Lucas Bludoff, a nice combination of size, skill, and grit, will be one of the 20-year-olds this season.
Lucas is a very energetic guy that he's going to drag a lot of guys along. There's a way we have to play, and you're either going to do it or I'll make you play that way. Kyle St. Dennis is another guy. Stepan Novotny is another guy that has to contribute for us this year.
Kyle St. Dennis has to become more of an impact player. Losing Evan Bludoff now for a few months with a knee injury is going to certainly put a hole in us. But I think you're going to see guys like Callahan. I think you're going to see Kirk Gogol, bring some more things to the table. And Spencer Main, kids that were here last year that, played secondary roles and really didn't play as many minutes of key parts of the game. They're going to have to this year, and I think they'll step in and do things that we need them to do.
This is what it's all about, playing for the HL Cup. You see the Kelowna Rockets roster from 02-03 on there. The fans are ready for this one. Pre-game festivities are a little ways away, but up next, Dan and Bill will join us live from here at Prospera Place. Welcome to the kickoff of the 2009-2010 season. We're pumping the air into this game, and let's now join Dan Russell and Bill Wilms with their thoughts of tonight's first tilt between Kelowna and Vancouver. Guys, we were just here 4 months ago. It seems like we never left.
Indeed, 115 days ago to be exact, Dan, and Kelowna, the last team to finish. They're the first to begin, and of course we all remember how it ended last year with 2 great finishes to rounds 3 and rounds 4, both in this building, one in Game 6 overtime by the Rockets.
Yeah, exactly, and their big guys did come to play. They got off to a little shaky start against Tri-City and then even Vancouver, and you almost felt that the Rockets would die with their music still in them, but that was Backlund on an overtime winner at that point, and then Barrie, that against Calgary. Calgary. He snuck in, and on that goal, Dan, every forward, every guy on the ice for the Kelowna Rockets touched the puck, and that was the value of a guy like Tyson Barrie sneaking in.
Absolutely a bedlam in here just a few months ago. Well, let's look at some of the players who have graduated from the Kelowna Rockets. These are players that the Rocket fans grew to love for so long. And, you look at the Bens and the Allmans and the DeVels, and look at the numbers they put up. 48 goals for Ben. You had 66 points for Allman, and DeVell was always so dependable. But that's what we love about major junior hockey. It's cycle. They come in as 16-year-olds, they leave at 19 or 20, and there's some new guys to look at.
Well, Lucas Bludoff obviously is one of the 20-year-olds that many nights Ryan Huska has said, this is our hardest worker. And as a 20-year-old, he wears a letter. He loves what he brings to the dressing room. He's a great guy in the room. And you heard Bruce Hamilton earlier talk about Kyle St. Dennis, a big key at forward. Danny played 22 games last year. That's it. He was injured. But in those 22 games, St. Dennis had 22 points. So having said that, if you can get 70 games out of this guy, he could be an 80, 90-point guy. I think the Rockets need that.
Those are Husky high-octane players to watch. And Stu Walters, a short time ago, spoke with Kyle St. Dennis.
Kyle, injuries limited you to just 28 games, including playoffs last season. Are you healthy, and are you looking forward to a fresh start this year?
Yeah, definitely. Not really trying to look back at that season, but over the summer, all the training and all the recovery has helped me a lot, and I feel really good now.
So much offensive firepower left the Rockets during the offseason. Are you looking forward to being one of the guys counted on to fill some of that void?
Oh, for sure. For a couple of years, I didn't get too much offensive power up there. But, as the top two lines are gone, there's going to be a couple of us trying to step up, put some points on the board and lead our team all the way.
Thanks a lot. Good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Up to you guys.
All right, as fans of the WHL know, the Giants have been an elite team. They've won 4 straight British Columbia Division titles, but they've got new faces coming in. Don Hay loves that, Bill. I think he loves challenges like that.
Well, the big challenge is obviously on defense. He had to replace guys, but first of all, look at the losses here. Dan, you don't replace those guys with other players. You develop those kind of scorers, and you see the value of both Zabatal and Kane up front and Blum on defense.
What about the job Scott Bonner did retooling the defense?
Well, that was the key, that he had to get new people. Ryan Funk from Saskatoon, he brings 215 games of experience, all with the Saskatoon Blades. Excellent addition. Kevin Connaughton, you're going to hear a lot about him. Believe me, a Western Michigan University writer for the paper said, hey, this guy was born to skate. He said this is one word describes Kevin Connaughton, and that is amazing. The key with Connaughton, folks, is will he be able to bring that offense to this rugged, tough Western Hockey League? Vancouver Canucks, who took him to the third round, think he can. That's why he's here.
All right, here's Stu Walters with Kevin Connaughton.
Kevin, you come over from Western Michigan of the NCAA. What attracted you to the Western Hockey League?
Oh, it's world known as a great league. A lot of good players come out of this league, a lot of talent. So, I just at the end of the day had to decide, where I develop best. And the WHL was the final decision I made, and I'm happy I did, and I look forward to having a good season here.
Big departures on the Giants' blue line during the offseason. Do you look forward to assuming a leadership role right away?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They lost a lot of D, and there's a lot of spots open on the back end, so I'm looking forward to filling one of those roles, and being an older guy in the team, definitely going to step in as a leader. I think I bring a bit of experience to the back end there, so I'm just going to play whatever role they need me to, and hopefully it's going to work out for the best.
All right, well, good luck in your first game.
Thank you.
Guys, up to you.
Edmonton native Kevin Connaughton as we send it over to Dan Elliott.
All right, thank you very much, Dan. Back here with Cam Moon. We're moments away from the opening ceremony. For your thoughts tonight's game, of course, a lot of guys won't be here, but what should we expect?
Well, I think you're seeing two teams that are really in transition with the amount of players that they have graduated, and that's because they've been very successful organizations, and in particular last year. And I really like the way Vancouver has brought some guys in, and you look at Connaughton, who we just heard from, and they get in Musil as well. They've brought in some guys, Ryan Funk, a 20-year-old defenseman. Scott Bonner has done a great job of trying to replenish the stockpile that they have. So it seems that to me that the Vancouver Giants, even after graduating as many players as they have, are not going to take a real big dip.
Well, I think we're just about ready here to start things off. It's the opening festivities for Game 1 of the WHL season from Kelowna. Time now to join the opening ceremonies and PA announcer Bill Barnes.
Welcome to Prospera Place, home of your Kelowna Rockets. Tonight's game is brought to you by Dick's Pharmacists. Dick's Pharmacists, the local drugstore.
Dan takes the pass, and the hard one in front, they score! It is over! Absolutely unbelievable scene here in Kelowna. Rocket science for the third time this decade. Kelowna, our WHL champions. Tyson Berry!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together and make some noise. This is your starting lineup for your Kelowna Rockets.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to meet the 2009-2010 Kelowna Rockets? First out of the gate from the forests of British Columbia, please welcome Rocky Raccoon. From Calder, Saskatchewan, number 1, Warren Shipko. From Littleton, Colorado, number 2, Colin Bowman. From Victoria, BC, number 4, Tyson Berry. From Salmon BC, number 5, Mitchell Chapman. From Delta, BC, number 6, Colton Jobkey. From Edmonton, Alberta, number 7, Aaron Borico. From Calgary, Alberta, number 8, Kurt Gogol. From Prague, Czech Republic, number 9, Stepan Novotny. From Castlegar, BC, number 10, Evan Bludoff. From Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, number 12, Cody Ito. From St. Albert, Alberta, number 14, Cody Chicky. From North Vancouver, BC, number 16, Spencer Main. From Castlegar, BC, number 17, Lucas Bludoff. From Hermosa Beach, California, number 18, Shane Colgan. From Prince George, BC, number 19, Brett Bulmer. From Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, number 21, Max Adolph. From Swift Current, Saskatchewan, number 22, Mackenzie Johnston. From Trail, BC, number 23, Kyle St. Dennis. From Whittier, California, number 24, Mitchell Callahan. From Rimbey, Alberta, number 25, Brady Holson. From Kelowna, number 26, Antoine Corbin. From Coquitlam, BC, number 27, Jesse Assels.
From Phoenix, Arizona, number 28, Kyle Verdino. From Richfield, Minnesota, number 30, Mark Guggenberger. From Yorba Linda, California, number 31, Adam Brown. The head trainer for your Kelowna Rockets is Jeff Thorburn. Assistant coaches are Ryan Cuthbert, Dan Lambert, and Kim Dillabaugh. The head coach is Ryan Huska. The assistant general manager and director of player personnel is Lauren Fry. And the president and general manager of your Kelowna Rockets is Bruce Hamilton. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2009-2010 Kelowna Rockets. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tonight's Pepsi Save On Foods Player of the Game, Danielle Selby. Pepsi soft drink choice of your Kelowna Rockets can be found at your favorite Save On Foods locations. The official for tonight's game, referees are Pat Smith and Derek Solaski, with linesmen Matt Thurston and Nathan Van Oosten. We now invite Lucas Bludoff and Tyson Berry to please skate to the timekeeper's box. The time has come to celebrate the 2008-2009 championship season. Lucas and Tyson are gathering two very important, very well-deserved banners. The first banner is the 2008-2009 BC Division banner. And of course, the Western Hockey League Championship banner. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into those banners. They're well-deserved. Let's hear it for the Kelowna Rockets. We're going to get the players to the bench, and then we have a special puck ceremony at center ice.
A final salute to the 2009 WHL champions. Lots more to come from Prospero Place. We've got to take a quick break. Be right back after this.
O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Getting set for the Rockets and Giants in Game 1 of the WHL season, was able to catch up with both coaches before the game. Giants head coach Don Hay says he's emphasized the word first, as in win the first faceoff, get the first big hit, or the first shot on net to establish momentum. The Giants will be dressing two 16-year-old defensemen, including David Musil, who Hay says is the most ready, but he said to keep an eye on Zach Hodder, who is the most exciting. Ryan Huska, on the other hand, says the most difficult part for his guys tonight will be getting through the long pregame ceremony and staying focused. There was also some concern with defenseman Tyson Barrie that he might not even make tonight's game due to mechanical issues at the Seattle airport. Ryan Huska happy to report that he did indeed make it before game time, and of course he is in the lineup tonight. Up to you, Dan and Bill.
Thank you, Stu. Let's look at our first pair of starting goalies for the new season. And these are two goalies that were fine backups last year that really posted nice numbers. Like Jamie Tucker, he had 18 wins, just 1 loss, a 1.51 goals against. He had 6 shutouts. And up the ice, Adam Brown, he was no slouch. 18 wins, 5 losses, a 2.02 goals against average. He had a couple of shutouts. This is the 4th standalone season opener. We did this 4 years ago in Chilliwack, then in Edmonton, last year in Cranbrook, and tonight here in Kelowna, where the referees will be Pat Smith and Derek Zalaski, a couple of veterans. As you look at the linesmen on your screen, the names coming up, Matt Thurston and Nathan Van Oosten. So here we go. We're getting set for season number 44 in the Western Hockey League. And on behalf of Bill, we pass along the best of luck to all the teams and all the young players in this great league for another fine season of Western Hockey League action. Kelowna in white, Vancouver in red, as these two teams pick up from last year's 3rd round, and Kelowna goes to the attack as Kyle St. Dennis tries to get the puck on the end boards. Ballmer's in there as well, but here's Lance Bowman, the new Vancouver captain, playing it cross ice. His first touch as a Giant, Ryan Funk sends it in, and as he sent it in, he was upended. Manning from the line, a long shot, and Brown gobbles it up as he takes it in the Ogo Pogo logo.
Well, as always with both coaches, and Don Hay, first off the top, the challenge is always twofold, especially at this time of the year. Number one, you got to build a team. That's the first thing. And number two, you have to teach. And Don Hay, I think, relishes the chance that he's getting this year to work with a very, very young hockey club, especially at the back end.
Giants went 4-2 in the preseason. The Rockets went 2-3. Giants winning their last 3 preseason games and as many nights last weekend. Caderna goes in to take the faceoff for Vancouver against Callahan. And as they battle for it, a quick shot on goal by Peluso, and Brown had to be sharp with his glove to make that save.
Again, Brown really has to focus, as you do as a goaltender, off face-off. There's a pretty good job at jumping into the face-off circle there to get the shot on net. Peluso in that spot, wins that draw, and then gets the shot. Adam Brown, nice position to make the save.
This time Callahan won the face-off, but the Rockets unable to get it out as Vancouver's Connaughton holds it in on his back end, got it to Peluso. Caderna trying to chase it back of the net. Callahan bumped by Caderna, puck squirting free to Bowman. He got it to the line, and now it comes out as the Rockets will force it out. McColgan to Novotny. Shot, scores! Stepan Novotny scores for Kelowna. 1-0 for the defending champs.
Dan, the Kelowna Rockets actually get a little life here. They make a bad pass coming up the middle of the ice, but they recover beautifully. They get the shot on the net, And this is the one thing you really don't want as a goaltender early, is somebody breaking in home free on you. And Stepan Novotny has to have a big year for this hockey club. 41 points last year. He was passed over in the NHL draft. He's got good size from the Czech Republic. And for this whole crowd here in Kelowna, really important to get them involved early, and they do that.
19 goals last year. Scores on the first shot on goal for Kelowna this year. So there's a scoring play. McColgan and Callahan getting in on it. And here's Chapman for the Rockets, sending it back into Vancouver territory. Nolan Toigo just sent back to the Giants from the Vancouver Canucks yesterday. Toigo gets the puck up. That's Gallagher going in on the far side, trying to go around Barry, and Barry makes a nice defensive play. Gallagher trying to get it back again. Bowman upended. Gallagher stays on the puck, then he's upended. And Bowman comes up with it for the Rockets. Up to Maine. North Vancouver youngsters sending it into Vancouver territory. Spencer Maine giving chase through a check on the backboard. That created a turnover, and Bowman's shot tipped off the target by Gogol. Maine gets it back to the line and gets it back once more from Jobke. Jobke trying to hold it in, but it's a little hard to handle. And here comes Lance Boma. Boma squeezing around the defense, going in, throwing it right through the goal mouth, and Barnett couldn't get his stick on it. Gogol back for Maine, checked off his stick, and the Giants come up with it once more. Lance Boma got the puck out to the center ice area. Pareko back to get it is Barry. Barry knocked off stride, puck just sitting there. Who's going to come up with it? The Giants do, but only for a moment. And here comes Kelowna back the other way. Ito sending it in. Tucker, the goaltender, around the boards. Barry holds it in. Barry has it roll off his stick, and Vancouver gets possession with Burns sending it to that open wing. 1-0 Rockets as we near the 3-minute mark. Here's Burns. Burns playing across ice, sent in by Schulten. Burns giving chase on the backboards. Schulten is Brandon Schulten. He's a 17-year-old from Langley, and now there's Brown freezing the puck.
One of the things you have to do, Dan, if you're going to control this Kelowna team, is you have to get on Tyson Barrie. Watch what Bowman does on the forecheck. Good hit. Hey, how about Tyson Barrie's defensive partners the last 2 years? 2 years ago, he plays with Luke Shen. Last year, he plays with Tyler Myers. Is there any better way for a guy to develop his offensive game than to play with those two guys, both Shen, obviously, and Myers first-round draft picks? But a lot is expected of Lance Boma, especially in that physical department.
Rockets trying to clear around those boards, but it was cut off, and coming out of the backboards area was Scheidel. There's a shot from the line. Brown makes the save. Giants hold it in once more, but only for a moment as it's sent out by Johnston. Novotny giving chase, but it's over the icing line before he can get it.
Well, Jamie Tucker, we saw his record earlier, that 18 wins, 1 loss, and I think the thing that impresses me about it as much as anything is his 6 shutouts. You know, he was really solid. He may have been the most successful backup goalie in the entire Canadian Hockey League last year. And by the way, the Giants have a new goalie for the first time since the 07 season, when really Tyson Sexsmith took over. But the ball's in Jamie Tucker's court right now. The 18-year-old Victoria, just back, player from Victoria, just back from the Columbus Blue Jackets camp where he was a free agent.
And I don't know how many times Don Hay told me on my sports talk show that the Vancouver fans will start to really appreciate Tyson Sexsmith once he's gone. We'll see how that plays out. But Jamie Tucker had those great numbers, as you mentioned, last year. Gallagher trying to put the puck in front of the Kelowna goal, could not. Here's Toigo. Toigo getting the puck back again. Played last year as a forward and a defenseman, but we sure liked him a lot in the playoffs last year at the back end. That's him chasing the puck back in his own zone. That's that free agent tryout with the Canucks. Now Gallagher has the puck back into the Kelowna zone as Barrie gives chase. And he calms it down. One of the great offensive defensemen in the WHL, Tyson Barrie, getting up to Maine. And now Manning collects it. Third-year defenseman for Vancouver, plays it cross ice. And he gets it back once more. Manning is from Nanaimo. His pass goes astray, and it's icing.
You see the pass that Manning made there, the one requirement, actually two requirements that you look for as a defenseman, whether you're a rookie or a veteran, with the rules being the way they are now, is you got to be able to make the stretch pass. You saw Manning just try to make it. And number two, you got to be able to join the rush. Then you don't have to lead the rush as a defenseman, but you want to be able to join it. And that's what, a lot of coaches look for at this time in the year. Who can make, who can make those things happen?
Early shot clock, 3-1 for Vancouver. Just the one shot on goal for Kelowna as they lead it. 1-0. There's Funk with it. Cunningham can't come up with it. Ryan Funk does. Now here's Lance Boma gaining the line. Boma in front for Cunningham on the backhand, and Brown does a nice job to hold his pad and then frees the puck. Adam Brown could have been going the other way, but he had the presence of mind, Bill, to keep that right pad hugged to the post.
Absolutely, and Boma, Henry, and Cunningham form a pretty aggressive line. Boma has slid by the defenseman on that side. It was Colin Bowman earlier. This time he decides to pass the puck. What you like about Craig Cunningham, number 14, for the Vancouver Giants, is that he usually does one of two things. He either takes the puck to the net or he goes to the net. That's what the New York Rangers like about him. That's why he got a free agent tryout with the Rangers.
14 playoff points last year for Craig Cunningham, so he was a standout for Vancouver in the games that counted the most. Barry for the Rockets, trying to get it up there for Bulmer. Bulmer to the line and out and back in on the offside.
Adam Brown played so well in the last game of the Memorial Cup. People that watched that remember he came off the bench after Guggenberger had let those shots in early, played the last 52 minutes, made 23 saves of 24 shots. He is now on the radar as being up a relatively high ranked goaltender for the upcoming draft. And Adam Brown, a 17-year-old from California, is getting the job done here, with Guggenberger hurt. By the way, that was that groin injury Guggenberger got. Remember last year? I think it was against Calgary. In fact, I remember the guys in our truck were talking about that. We never even saw it. And they said, you know what? I think he hurt his groin on that play.
And then played in the Memorial Cup, but then out later. First penalty of the new season is a hooking infraction. And I think it's Vancouver. Yes, it will be Gallagher going to the box.
When you've got four guys around the puck carrier, the last thing you have to do is get involved in a hooking play. You can count the Vancouver Giants. There's a lot of puck support there. Gallagher, not a good penalty. Zalaski, hand up in the air. We'll see the first power play of the night go to the Kelowna Rockets.
Kyle St. Dennis in to take the face-off. Lucas Bludoff up there too. You see Novotny operating from the right point position, and Barry over at the left point position. So they've got the forward playing at the back end with Tyson Barry. And here they come out of their own zone. Barry's pass misses Novotny, and so Vancouver sends it back into Rocket territory. Boma in on Barry, but Barry corrals it, and out he comes. Barry's pass over to Novotny. Has to go back behind him to get it. Now remember, Barry just arrived back here today. The power plays, Bill, at this time of year take some time to get going.
Well, they do, and one thing as a penalty-killing team, you like the fact when you see the team on the power play skate back into their own end a couple times during the 2 minutes. But the Kelowna Rocket power play last year was 5th in the WHL, and the Vancouver penalty kill, Dan, was number 1 on the road, and that was one of the reasons I think they went on to win those 57 games while losing 10.
Callahan first to it on the backboards for the Rockets. Now Barreto on these near boards. Nice job by Barreto to get it to Bowman in front of the net. Pass doesn't get through to Callahan, and the Giants backhand it down the ice. Back to get it is Colin Bowman.
You always like guys on defense, your defensive four that are killing a penalty if they've got some, puck stealing ability.
Bulmer sends the puck in. Tucker from back of the net. Still just the one shot on goal for Kelowna. That was in the game's first minute, and they haven't had a shot on this power play, which has now, as you see, 45 seconds remaining. And here comes Bowman again. Lead pass up to McColgan. McColgan sends it into Vancouver territory. Tucker plays it high along the boards. And Vancouver comes up with a potential break. Shorthanded as Cunningham goes in. Cunningham to the middle. Still Cunningham, and a good job by Barry to lift his stick and get the puck. Here comes Barry. Barry shot. That's knocked down and doesn't hit the net. Bludoff trying to come off the boards. Cunningham for the Giants sends it down the ice with 12 seconds now remaining in the Gallagher minor. Novotny back to get it. Up for Kyle St. Dennis. He cannot gain the line. Gallagher's back on now as Toigo has it. Nolan Toigo now to Neil Manning. Neil Manning to Lance Boma, making a move or two as he takes a shot. Scored a big playoff goal from around the same part last year, right there when Vancouver needed a late one in the third period here.
Lance Bowman last year went on to score 7 playoff goals. His season was cut a little bit short with an injury. A lot of people figure that Lance Bowman might just be on the cusp of a big year offensively.
Had the 7 goals, had the 12 points. He was +5. He was pretty valuable in those playoffs for Vancouver. Here comes Bowman, overskating the puck. Lamoureux tries to start back. Musil will. Burns squeezed out of the play partially by Chapman, but he gets the puck back at the goal. Still Burns with it. Ito trying to check him. Rockets get it. There's Poulsen in the far corner. Brady Poulsen, one of their newcomers from Alberta. There's going to be a Kelowna penalty as Vancouver's Nathan Burns was tripped up. And as Kelowna touches the puck, Vancouver will get their first chance of the new season with the man advantage.
Well, the only 16-year-old in the Vancouver lineup as a forward is Nathan Burns. He's from Edmonton, and he just kind of comes away from the boards with a puck. And again, you know, a little bit of concern, I guess. If you kind of lose possession, you lose your man along the back wall or corner wall, you kind of start thinking that, you know, maybe this is going to be a little more dangerous than it really is. Poulsen in that corner, the fight for it. Now here comes Burns. He's going to get up, come away from that spot with a puck, and you see, was that actually his own stick that took him down? Almost looked like it.
Almost did, yep. There's Funk now to Peluso. Peluso gets it to Cunningham, back of the net. That's Lance Boma getting some room, and then he feeds the blue line area. Getting the puck there was Funk, and he gets it back again. As they try to play it down low, Barry intercepts the Boma pass. Borreko's in there for Kelowna as well. And the Rockets get it and send it all the way down the ice. So Funk at the blue line position with Kevin Connaught, 2 of the newcomers at the back end. The Giants have high hopes for. Funk last year was a +34. The year before he was a -29. Can you imagine that kind of turnaround? Goes from a -29 to a +34. Huge swing.
And Dan, you got to credit Lauren Mollican, the coach of that Saskatoon Hockey Club, with a big part of that. And what it does show when you go with that kind of a change from minus to plus, that a player is certainly coachable.
Funk has been nursing a shoulder injury the last week or so, but took part in contact drills earlier this week, so cleared to play in this opener. And he played all the games last year for Lauren Mulligan, so he doesn't like to miss them. Shot in by Vancouver, and just like the Kelowna power play, not much of a setup so far for the Giants. Manning in that far corner, hit by Bludoff. Here's James Henry with the puck. Henry and Borrego will battle for it as it squirts free. It only does for a moment, but a quick shot from a sharp angle goes high and wide. Giants unable to hold it in. That's Hodder getting it and getting it back. Zach Hodder, 16-year-old from Delta, sends it in. Borrego, now Callahan. And now Barry in the far corner, lined up by Cunningham. JT Barnett gets the puck. Just 3 seconds left in the Vancouver man advantage. So both teams 0 for 1 on the power play as we're halfway through the first period. Here's the game's only goal scorer, Novotny, moving in, shoots and scores! He's still the game's only goal scorer, except he's got 2. 2-0 Rockets.
You know, the important thing for Novotny is he gets away from that scrum along the boards. He's given a little bit of room there, but in that spot there, you are letting your goaltender take the shot. The defensemen in that position are fanning out. That was simply Kevin Connaught saying, I'll take the, make sure the pass doesn't complete across to Callahan going for the net. The shot is a goaltender, and for the second time, Novotny beats Tucker. Looked like high to the glove side for a 2-0 Kelowna lead.
It is 2-0 Rockets from Kelowna. It's the WHL on Shaw.
Rockets head coach Ryan Huska, 2 shots, 2 goals. That looks like a pretty good start. Your thoughts on the way your team has come out here?
Well, I think we can push the envelope a little bit more right now, getting pucks in deep and being a little bit more aggressive on all these loose pucks, but it's nice to be able to have the lead right now.
Shots are coming at a premium. Is this what you expected coming into this game?
Well, it's always tight with Vancouver, and I think the sooner we can get our guys to understand how hard we have to play as a group of 5, every time we play them, it'll be this way.
Ryan, thanks for this.
Okay, thank you.
Guys?
Thanks, Cam. The last game the Rockets played, they allowed 3 goals on 3 shots. Tonight they have scored 2 goals on their first 2, Bill.
And Novotny, the European import, getting both of them. And, you know, when you look at the top 100 scores in the Western Hockey League last year, there were only 2 European import players in the top 100. Wow. I found that hard to believe. Boston Golicic for Calgary, and also Milan Kittner was the top guy. So maybe Novotny might change that a little bit, as he's already got 2, and we barely played 10 minutes of the first period.
Here comes Henry. Henry gets the puck back of the goal for Vancouver. Swenson, one of their new Euros from Denmark. There's a wrap around the tip by Gallagher. They bang at the puck, and Brown is there looking sharp down low, making another save in the Kelowna goal. Rockets come up with it. And here comes Spencer Main. His pass too high for goal. Here's in transition, but the puck is knocked down with a high stick, so they blow play down.
One of the guys you always have to keep your eye on if you're the opposition playing Vancouver is maybe the smallest guy in the team. That's Gallagher right there. Love what Steve Ewan said in the paper this morning. Ryan Funk says that Gallagher, number 11, takes the puck to the net like a 6'4" player. And when you knock him down, he comes up swinging. This is a very, very talented young player that, you know, they start talking about him as maybe a National Hockey League draft as he's in his draft year.
Scheidel tips the puck into the Rocket zone. Barry already longing a lot of ice time for Kelowna. Knocked off stride. Here's an opportunity for Vancouver out of the corner, and they're banging at the puck. Scheidel went right to the net, and again, Brown good down low. Speaking of down low, let's go down to Cam.
Yeah, guys, so over at the Kelowna bench, they're looking for their team to take the body a little bit more, asking them to step up the urgency a little bit, maybe feeling that their team's playing a little bit passive here so far in the first period.
You know, I like what Detroit coach and Canadian Olympic coach Mike Babcock said. He said the better you play without the puck, the more you'll play with it. And that is absolutely so true. And I think that's maybe what they're talking about. Lay the body, get that puck, make sure that it's not on the opposing team's stick.
How about Brown in the early going? He's made 6 saves, and here's an opportunity for another Kelowna goal, and a save by Tucker on Callahan, and the second shot doesn't reach the net. The shots are 6-3 for Vancouver, so Brown's been real good. That was the first save Tucker's made after allowing the first 2 shots to get past him. Here's Manning now, sending it into Kelowna territory. Brown knocking the puck down and playing it to Bowman. Bowman, 142 WHL games as of this night. Older brother Drayson, a former star in this league with Spokane. There's Vancouver down low again, but they can't get a shot this time. And here is Brady Polson getting it out to the Vancouver line. No further as Toigo starts back in transition. Cunningham squeezed off the puck, rolls to the corner. Barnett knocked off it by Main, but only for a moment. It squirts free to Vancouver. Bowman gets it back to the net. Bowman trying to find Cunningham, could not. Here's a wraparound attempt. Again, Brown very sharp down low, makes another save for Kelowna.
Mitchell Callahan, Dan, with 2 assists on both Novotny's goals, joins the rush. He takes up, he's just inside his own blue line. Bulmer had quite the head start, but again, Callahan playing with so much confidence. Kid that was drafted by the Detroit Red Wings. In fact, the Red Wings, Dan, really haven't drafted a player of Mitchell Callahan's ilk, the kind of player that he is for I don't know how long. 20 fighting majors last year. The thing that jumps out at you is 188 penalty minutes, but he did have 14 goals and apparently had a terrific rookie camp with the Red Wings, and he is on fire. I mean, his attitude is high, not that it wasn't to begin with.
And here he comes out of his own zone. Callahan gaining the Vancouver line, but he can't get past the last man back there, Zach Hutter. Giants ice the puck, face off back in their zone.
Two teams that have really done something in the last decade are on your screen right now. 03, 04, 5, 6, 7. You know who's missing in 08? Spokane Chiefs did such a great job. They went on to win the title. But it's been a lot of Kelowna and Vancouver up there. But again, not surprising when you see the guys that run these teams, the coaches do a great job.
And combined, they've won 28 out of 37 playoff series in the last 7 seasons. Just a dominating pair of British Columbia-based teams. And we'll see if that domination can continue this year. It will be a challenge for both coaches Huska and Hay. But that's what we love about the major junior game. It goes in cycles. And I know that's what they both like as coaches, too. The challenge of taking new players and grooming them. Here's Connaughton. Connaughton coming out of his own zone, and Stan Smeal from the Canucks organization very happy that Connaughton is playing under the Don Hay system. He very much wants him to play in that structured system to help him take the next step.
Like, you know, Kevin Connaughton is certainly a big factor that both coaches have to be aware of. Don Hay loves to have him on his side. Ryan Huska has to be very, very aware of who's on the ice, especially if it is Kevin Connaughton. But, you know, Don Hay and Ryan Huska are 2 of the 4 coaches in the BC division that have Kamloops connections, Kamloops Blazer connections. Dean Clark and Mark Habshot are the other ones. Clark at Prince George and Habshot at Chilliwack.
So it's only the Kamloops coach that doesn't have the Kamloops connection,
Yeah,
Barry Smith.
Barry Smith, right.
He didn't play for them. Didn't coach them before, but he's sure coaching them now and into his second year. And a lot of people love the Kamloops Blazers on paper. They've got firepower coming out of their ears. They're going to be the envy, I think, of teams offensively, Bill, in the BC division, at least early.
Couldn't agree with you more. I think they got the best group of scoring returning forwards of any team in the league. The key that with them obviously is going to be, again, their back end. And, you know, Craig Bonner certainly knows what it takes to get that job done. And as I've said before, you've got to draft well, you've got to develop well, and you got to trade well. And I'm sure that Craig Bonner will say, hey, wait a minute, I'll address any weakness we have in our back end. But they are good.
Just over 5 minutes to go here in the first period of game number 1 of the 09-2010 season. Rockets leading 2-0. Both goals by Stepan Novotny as the puck bounces out of play right behind the 2 benches.
Well, these are the guys that aren't here for the Vancouver Giants. A tap-in goal in front of the net for Casey Piero-Zavital. Shots from the point from Blum. And obviously Evander Kane. 3 huge guys missing. In fact, with Kane and Piero-Zavital, Dan, there's over 200 points between 2 guys gone. But again, that's the challenge that you face in junior hockey, which you've already talked to a couple times.
Not to mention Regner, Shira, and Ross. Players that had to be replaced in Kelowna without the Bens, the Allmans, the Backlunds, the Myers, the Granthams, the DeVells, and Colin Long. In fact, Ryan Huska saying he went from a wild card to get back to maybe a bit of a long shot to come back. He's having that much of an impression at the NHL level so far.
Let me tell you this, Colin Long, 229 games played, 223 points. Think he's valuable? Well, the Kelowna Rockets certainly with a lot of firepower missing this year as well. And love our new graphics, by the way, if I might say that myself.
Here's some of that firepower.
Backlund, he'll pick up a lot of garbage as he did last year. Nice check by McMillan to get it at Cody Allman, the Minnesota Wild draft. Boy, what a captain he was on this hockey club. Add to that Jamie Benn. I've got 148 goals gone, Dan, from the Kelowna Rockets and the guys that you mentioned earlier. And for the Vancouver Giants, you lose Blum, Ross, Shira, Berube, and Regner. 60 goals from the defense. They got 5 returning. 5 goals returning, and that's all from Neil Manning.
You know, they've had a pretty good first period, Vancouver has here. They haven't been rewarded yet, but they've had 8 shots on goal, and boy, Adam Brown looks pretty good. He finds pucks down low, doesn't he?
Well, he is a battler. You know, Adam Brown, by the way, he went to the NHL draft to really see his cousin Matt Duchesne get picked in the first round by Colorado. But, you know, Brown, Jamie Tucker, Martin Jones were all invited at a Canadian World Junior Team summer camp. So they like what they see in Adam Brown.
Here comes Barry out of his own zone. Barry getting the puck back again. Pretty good speed as he got to the Vancouver line, but the last man back for Vancouver is Hodder, and he broke that up. And here is Burns playing it back deep behind his own goal where Toigo is knocked off stride. There may be a penalty there. Not sure what they're going to call it. Gogol doesn't like it. Did he kind of get his knee in there? It seems like he might have, but from our distance. And referee Zalaski seems to have the same thing in mind. He was right there, Zalaski, and yeah, there's the signal right there. It's a knee.
You get a good look at this, folks. You know, Spencer Main is chasing Toigo behind the net. There's Main chasing him. Gogol shows up.
Oh, yeah.
With that hit. Is that knee on knee? Is that what the call is, Dan? Yeah, he gets a little bit of that knee in there, but depends whose ox is being gored on that one. If you're Kelowna, you think that's a pretty good hip check.
So Vancouver on the second power play. Here's Connaughton shooting the puck in. Bowman on the backboards. Peluso trying to get it for Vancouver. Number 16 digging after it. So is Cunningham, 14. Connaughton sneaking in from the blue line area. He wears number 6. And he gets the puck back, putting it behind the goal, but Peluso couldn't get it. Boma takes out Lucas Bludov. Bowman in there to hit Boma. Cunningham trying to get it. Rockets, good job to keep Vancouver on the outside. Peluso now to Cunningham. Barreto trying to check him. And again, Giants on the outside from the blue line area. There's Manning. Now it's Cunningham once more. Just can't penetrate the front of the net. Bowman shot it up high as it hit a stick. Connaughton holds the puck in. Pass goes up high, so the Giants unable to handle it. Bowman, though, gets it back to Manning. Manning over here to Connaughton. Connaughton throws it in the slot. There's a backhand shot by Bowman. A quick one, another chance. Brown to save. Cunningham puts it wide on the rebound. Excellent scoring chance for Cunningham. Manning fakes the shot. Connaughton now to Manning. Half minute to go in the power play. Second power play looking better for Vancouver as they've had it down in the Kelowna zone the entire time. Connaughton shot from the line, and Brown has it to make his 10th save of the first period.
Well, by my count, Connaughton did a good job of going in and intercepting a pass. He made a great job of throwing it to the front of the net, and another chance on this shot. Watch Connaughton in this play. This is his offensive presence in the offensive zone. They say he has great vision, great hands. Takes this puck and makes a really neat little pass. He's circling. He's kind of playing that Jonathan Blum role where maybe he can get himself open for a play that results in a scoring chance.
16 seconds to go in the power play. Under 2 minutes to go in the period as the puck bounces out of play, and we'll get a face-off in the neutral zone.
Well, I found it interesting when they hung that banner, the 3 Western Hockey League championships that this team in Kelowna has won here. It have been won by 3 different coaches. Mark Habscheid in 03, Jeff Truitt in 05, and Ryan Huska in 07. So, they've come in here and done a pretty good job.
Apparently they just hand the game plan over to the next coach.
Yeah. By the way, Prospera Place, can you believe it? 10 years old this year.
And another sellout. 15th year in the Okanagan for Kelowna. This is their 1,009th game all time. And they played just over 500 in this building. And the old one, too, combined. United games in the old building. That was different.
Yeah, we were right on top of the ice. I mean, we were about, 10 rows up?
Yeah. Lead pass at the Kelowna line broken up. Now a minute 10 to go in this opening period. Bulmer going wide. Manning trying to stay with them. Does. Still Bulmer with the puck. Gets it back to the blue line area as he dumps it down low. Giants trying to gobble up the puck. They've only allowed Vancouver the 3 shots on goal. That would normally be real good, but 2 of them have gone in, and it's 2-0 for the Rockets. There's going to be another Kelowna penalty as well. Back to touch the puck is Jobkey. And as he does, we'll get another Vancouver power play in the late stages of the period. And can you believe it, Bill? It's another kneeing penalty.
Yeah, well, I think it's on the forecheck when Kelowna Rockets go just inside the Vancouver Giant blue line there. And you see that is definitely a knee-on-knee. Good call by the referee on that play. It was a pinch play that didn't really turn out really well. Sometimes that happens when you're a little bit out of position, but with 45.6 seconds left in Vancouver, only giving up 3 shots on goal, yet trailing 2-0. opportunity here, if they can be patient, get some offense going, maybe get into this hockey game.
And here they are on the power play with Connaughton. Shot scores! Kevin Connaughton, a blast from the point. Did it get all the way through? I don't think Brown ever saw it. Connaughton shoots the puck for his first goal, it appears, in a Vancouver Giants uniform.
When there's 45 seconds left in the period and you're on the offensive zone, you got to win the faceoff. They do. I like the way Kevin Connaughton slides along the line. There's the shot. To talk about him having a terrific shot. Not too sure if that touched something on the way. Didn't catch the number of the guy down, but there was a pretty good check made right along the wall to free that puck up so it could get on Connaughton's stick. But that's a big goal for this hockey club to get back into this game. And Kevin Connaughton has opened up his account, hasn't he, as a goal scorer in the Western Hockey League.
A freshman last year at Western Michigan. He had 18 points in 40 games played. He gets his first goal. And we'll wait for the announcement. Here it is.
Scored by number 6, Kevin Connaughton. The goal was unassisted. Time of the goal, 19:23.
So there you have it. It is Connaughton's goal. And just as you said, the Giants looking for something at the end of the period, a period which I think they played quite well in. Out shooting and having more scoring chances than the Rockets. But the Giants found themselves down 2-0 and now back in the game with the scoreline 2-1. Here's Gallagher trying to move the puck in front. Maine gets it. Dying seconds of the period. Maine will knock it off the boards. And the first period of the new season in the books. Stepan Novotny scoring in the first minute. Kevin Connaughton scored in the last minute. Novotny with 2 goals, 2-1 after 1 as we send it to Dan Elliott.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. Coming up in the first intermission, Rockets blue liner Colin Bowman will be our rinkside guest. We take a closer look at the new uniforms unveiled by the league last week. Plus Kelowna's president, GM, and Governor Bruce Hamilton will stop by to give us his thoughts on his team this round. Stick around. All that and more right here on the WHL on Shaw.
Welcome back to WHL Hockey on Shaw. We are looking at the Rockets with a 2-1 lead in the first intermission over the Vancouver Giants. With me is Rockets defenseman Colin Bowman. Talk about that first period, Colin. You were able to get that first goal. Did you enjoy the first period?
Yeah, it was a good first period for us coming out early. We were shooting pucks a lot, which, as you see, a lot of them went in, so felt good coming out, but we just got to get our feet under us and keep it simple.
What about staying out of the penalty box? Is that going to be a key moving forward as well? A little bit of undisciplined play in that first period?
Yeah, I think right now, because we have a young team, we gotta stay out of the box so we can keep it simple 5-on-5 and we can move the puck up and get some more shots.
Talk to me about the start of the game. You're getting to become more of a veteran now. Were you having to calm nerves before the first game of the season here?
I don't think I quite had as much nervous as I was, last couple 2 years, but coming in, it was a little nerve-wracking. Always a home opener, the banner's being raised, so you're having fun.
All right, Colin, good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Stu. Yeah, it's the Kelowna Rockets leading the Vancouver Giants 2-1 through 20 minutes of play. Stepan Novotny's got both goals for Kelowna coming on the first 2 shots of the game. Vancouver out shooting Kelowna 12-3. Kevin Connaughton scoring for the Giants on the power play with 45 seconds left in that first period. Well, you might have noticed, a little tougher to tell with these two teams, but you might have noticed the jerseys look a little bit different out there. That's because this year the WHL followed in the footsteps of the NHL and adopted the Reebok Edge jerseys. Now, because of the whole scale changes, some teams made a few minor alterations, while others like Prince George changed their entire logo. Last week they were unveiled, and right now we get a closer look at them in our Husky Mohawk profile.
It's a pro look at a junior level. Players in the Western Hockey League will be wearing the new RBK Edge uniform this season, the same design that is used in the NHL. The jerseys have a tailored look, and fans will notice some subtle changes with team logos and colors.
I think it'll be really exciting for the players who will have a new fit as far as the more streamlined look, as well as a new look and design for the fans in the Western Hockey League.
Reaction to the lightweight and sweat-resistant jerseys has been positive. Members of the Calgary Hitmen have been using them in practice. Some players feel the new uniform will give them an advantage on the ice.
They're a tighter fit, so it's not as baggy. It doesn't feel as bulky and big, restricting.
We've had that advantage of the National Hockey League having this system in place for the past 2 years, and as a result, really learn from them as to what they found as to be benefits. And of course, if the players at the top level of the game and in the world, the National Hockey League, are endorsing it, is something our players are excited to embrace as well, and they're looking forward to having this opportunity this season.
As part of the new look, some teams have changed their trim and made modifications to the overall design. Calgary Hitmen have gone one step further, introducing a new white jersey that features a black Hitman mask.
I think the new logo on the front really looks good. It gives a new look, kind of keeps that traditional face going that they've had since the start of the Hitman organization, and I just think it's a great logo.
All 60 teams across the Canadian Hockey League will be wearing the new uniforms this season. Dave Roberts, Shaw TV, Calgary.
Thank you very much, Dave. We got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll hear from the president, governor, and GM of the Kelowna Rockets. Bruce Hamilton will stop by. His team leading the Giants 2-1 after 20 minutes of play in Game 1 of the WHL season. Welcome back to Prospera Place in Kelowna. The Kelowna Rockets leading the Vancouver Giants 2-1 through 20 minutes of play in Game 1 of the WHL season. And you can see us up here in our perch on the concourse. Pleased to be joined by the president, GM, and governor of the Rockets, Mr. Bruce Hamilton. Thank you very much for having us back here once again. It's always love coming back to Kelowna.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, and it's the weather's terrible up here today, so I know we were out. I hope you didn't get sunburned today.
No, really had to suck it up to be out here. Well, first off, I'm sitting here beside the Ed Chanel Cup. Third time you've your name's on that as the Kelowna Rockets. What does it mean to you? An honor. I know, obviously, Ed Chanel is a good, close friend of yours.
Well, the night we won it was, a very exciting night for us, and me personally. I talked to Mrs. Chanel after the game, and it was just a special night, and a dear friend of mine in Ed. So it was great for our organization, and I know personally I really was, it was a very fulfilling moment.
Obviously, you're looking forward to this season. You put the wrap on last season. This year with the banner raising, always a nice touch for the fans to get a chance to be here for that.
Yeah, because, our last game didn't end that well, so our return to Kelowna after the Memorial Cup was dampened by that. But, we're starting a new season tonight, and everything's history now, really.
Absolutely. Well, 20 minutes in, your team is up 2-1, just 3 shots on goal, but 2 of them are going in. Pretty good shooting percentage, but your thoughts in the first 20 minutes?
Well, I thought our team looked very nervous. I think that our new guys, certainly we've got a number of them in the lineup tonight, and I think they had a little tough time. The sticks are a little tight, but the Giants started the way I thought they would. They came right after us, and, the one thing about Don A's teams, play the same all the time, very hard. But I think we need to get a little bit more out of our veterans, which I think that the guys coming back from pro camps, it always takes a little while for them to get the understanding that they're back in this game, and the puck at the pro level does a lot more of the work than it does here, and they'll adjust and we'll get going, I hope.
Well, let me ask you about a couple of names who aren't here. Tyler Myers, do you expect to see him back this year?
No, last year we planned to play without Luke Shen, and so there was no, we weren't fooling ourselves waiting for him to get here. And we aren't with Tyler Myers either.
Are the Sabres giving you any indication?
No, you know what? I don't talk to the teams at all. I think that they've picked them and they're going to do what they want to do with them anyways. And, in Shen's case, I was pretty sure he had a real good chance because their team wasn't very good. Buffalo's a pretty good hockey club, and the difference with Tyler and Luke is Luke was a bigger, stronger guy. Tyler's a big, gangly skater, and my worry about Tyler most of all is I just don't want him to get hurt up there because he hasn't finished growing yet. That's the problem.
And that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Well, your captain, Colin Long, he's had a fantastic camp with Phoenix. He's still there with them. Obviously a chance that he could have the pro deal and end up in their AHL affiliate, I guess.
And that's, you know what, if Colin gets that, great on him. He's been a great player for us and a great leader for us, but I think it'll come down to numbers there as to how many contracts they can have and how much room they have in their farm team, because they are sharing that team with Anaheim, and I guess time will tell there, but I think they're going to give him a real good look. I know he played 2 nights ago with Phoenix against Anaheim, I believe, or LA, but we'll find out probably in another week or two on him.
Okay, so saying these two don't make it back, what kind of team can we expect this year from the Kelowna Rockets?
Well, we're going to be a younger team. 3 years ago, really, we started putting the things that we had together last year, and, we just got to keep adding young guys into the lineup, and our older guys are going to have to do something, and that just is part of this the industry we're in, as they're 17 and 18, they're learning to be leaders, and at 19 they've got to deliver. And we've got a number of guys that have been here for 2 and 3 years, and it'll be time for them to step up.
You obviously lost a lot of guys, especially offensively up front with Jamie Benn, Cody Allman, Michael Backlund. You have a history here of Kelowna of building from within. You don't usually make a lot of deals. You've done the same this year around. Rather, you're expecting the guys the new guys to come in and the older guys to step up. Is that true?
Well, I'm a real believer in our draft and our scouting staff finding the players that we need. And last year we made a couple of trades, but I think that they got way more play than they should have, because the players we got weren't impact guys. They were parts of the puzzle. Michael Backlund wasn't a trade, though. We drafted him.
That's true, okay.
Grantham and Duval came in and filled roles, but our role players and our key players were Jamie Benn and Colin Long and Tyler Myers.
And Guggenberger did do pretty well for you. That was a trade.
And you know what? We can't wait till he's healthy and ready to play. So,
well, do you expect him when?
Oh, yeah. He had a surgical procedure this week, and he's probably 2 to 3 weeks till he'll be ready to go.
And obviously the way Adam Brown's playing tonight, I would assume you're fairly confident in his ability between the pipes as well.
Well, I think he's one of the bright young goalies in our league, and he was at Team Canada's camp this summer. He's both. He's a American and Canadian, so he can pick where he wants to go, kind of thing. But Hockey Canada was very interested in him, and he's had a tremendous preseason, and tonight I think he's played real well also.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Best of luck this season. Congratulations once again as the 2009 WHL champions.
Well, my pleasure, and thanks for coming up here and broadcasting this game for us tonight.
As you said, real tough to deal with. The weather, the atmosphere here, always fantastic. All right. Time now to recognize Cal Tire and Husky Mohawk as a WHL Prestige partner. It's 2-1 through 20 minutes of play. Time now to go upstairs, rejoin Dan and Bill, get their thoughts through the first period.
Thanks. So you can see the cameras zeroing in on our great location in Bruce Hamilton. The Rockets organization always make us feel very welcome when we arrive, and we've seen a lot of Rockets on Shaw over the past number of months, the last 2 series last year, and now the first standalone opener tonight. What do you think of the first period?
Well, some rookie mistakes, a little bit of nerves. Kids are learning very, very quickly. We'll show you on the first goal, 52 seconds in. Stop it there. Musel's at the blue line in for Vancouver. He's got to make a quick decision. Not quick enough. That ends up chasing. Now Callahan down, McColgan down that wing. There's Novotny with the shot. Tucker, I don't know why he's that deep in the net. Folks, watch where he is on this goal. He's way back on the goal line. The only thing I can say is he must have anticipated a pass. Now, on the second goal, Kelowna does a real good job, Dan, of getting it again in the face of the Vancouver Giants. But isn't that pretty good placement of the 4 guys in red, the Giants? That shot belongs to Tucker. Hey, credit Novotny for really sniping in that top corner. But they're saying, hey, guys, we're leaving that shot to the goaltender, Tucker. Novotny makes him pay for it. Now, this is a goal that Vancouver scores. Boma, stop right there, does a good job on the far left of your screen, screening out Callahan. Dan, Callahan actually touched that puck, and it ended up on Connaughton's stick. That's why the goal is unassisted. Great work by Boma on the forecheck shot by Connaughton. We talked a lot about Connaughton. Look at the offensive presence in the offensive zone by the defenseman playing his first game. Watch the pass in the offensive zone, right on the stick in front of the net, and then you saw the goal that he scored to tie this game. So Kevin Connaughton, real solid blue liner for the Vancouver Giants in that period.
And here's your Sobe scoring summary of the period. The 2 goals by Novotny, Kevin Connaughton in the last minute on the power play. And look at the shots, 12 for Vancouver, just 3 for the Kelowna Rockets. Second period action coming up from the beautiful Okanagan when we continue. It's the WHL on Shaw. Welcome back to Kelowna as we get ready for second period action. In fact, still waiting the arrival of the 2 teams for second period action here at Prospera Place. Another sellout, by the way, where they always sell out the games in the Okanagan. Here's a peek at the Giants, and we should preface this by saying both these teams had a lot of players at NHL camps. I mean, 12 for Kelowna, 10 for Vancouver. 22, I mean, you're doing your job as an organization when you're putting that many people to an NHL camp.
Well, I've said this before, that what happens that, both coaches have seen players, they fly from the nest. The question is how many return, how many will be back. Personally, I think 2 players that will not be back in the league this year, and I certainly could be wrong, is Tyler Myers. I know Bruce Hamilton talked about maybe not being quite ready physically. He's still growing, I understand that. But I heard he might be able to crack the top 4 of all things in Buffalo, and I don't think Evander Kane will be back, Dan. I think he's a top 6 guy in Atlanta. They've given him number 9. I mean, how many guys get a low number at that point? And I think he's just a marketing gem in the state of Georgia.
There's Ryan Huska, and there is Don Hay. The Giants starting their 9th season. They've won a league title, a Memorial Cup title the past 4 years, 10 of their last 13 playoff rounds, and 4 straight division titles. Starting this period, teams at full strength, the Giants in the dark uniforms, and they have the puck in Kelowna territory. Gallagher behind the goal trying to scoop up the loose puck, does, but his stick is lifted as he tried to feed it to the blue line. Swenson's in there, number 26. That is Sebastian Swenson, 18-year-old from Denmark. And again, he tries to dig it out of the corner. Rockets get it, and out to center ice it goes. Here's Funk. Ryan Funk plays it cross ice before getting it back again. As he takes it in his skates, he might try this side. No, he doesn't. He goes back to his defensive partner, Manning. Up it goes to Henry, who tips it in. Giants making a change on their defense. Barry ducks underneath the check, gets it to Callahan. Callahan out to center ice it goes. Novotny. Now Barry. He lost the puck. Boma trying to squeeze past him. Does, right in on goal. Boma shoots it wide of the net. There'll be a penalty as well. Boma was hooked on the way. Or tripped up, I guess they'll call it. And Vancouver will have their 4th straight power play.
Lance Boma just powers through guys along the boards. Watch him here. He's done it a couple times and then breaks towards the net, tries to go forehand, backhand, is hauled down. And, you know, this is one of the keys, I think, for Vancouver is Lance Boma getting by. Look at his, he's got that wide base. He's got that thick core. He does punish people defensively, but he's pretty good with the puck this year.
Manning to Kaderna as Vancouver operates on the power play. They're getting lots of practice. They scored just before the end of the period on the power play. Cunningham shot, score! It's a 2-2 tie, and it's JT Barnett at the side of the goal who put that puck in. Barnett scoring the goal. He only had 1 all of last year, and on opening night, he ties the game.
The key here is the good puck movement that eventually gets it to Craig Cunningham. Now, I'm not sure, but it looks like that shot that Cunningham's going to take stretched the ice from side to side. That's important there. That's what Vancouver does a good job of. Watch the shot. I think it hits his stick way up in the air. It's about waist high. Just a great deflection by Barnett, his first goal of the season. The 17-year-old from Arizona has tied this game at 2.
The son of Michael Barnett getting his 2nd career WHL goal. Cunningham should get the first assist. He does. And Connaughton also in on that scoring play, so he's got a goal and an assist. And the game is tied 2-2, and the shots are 14-3 in favor of Vancouver. And here they are looking for more. Peluso shot knocked down from the line. Giants mishandle it. Toigo couldn't get it to the net. Back the other way for Kelowna is Maine. He's taken down. Toigo was bumped, but Kaderna gets the puck for the Giants. Kaderna to the line. Throws it towards the net, and it changed directions. Brown took it up high, and he held on.
Let's take a look at this goal that Barnett has scored to tie the game at 2 from our overhead camera. You watch the top left, top part of your screen. There's 20. Watch where the puck is deflected.
Wow.
Wow, that's a pretty good job by the youngster to get to pass the goaltender. I mean, Brown with absolutely no chance on that.
No kidding. And that's got to be a big thrill for Barnett to score when he took all year to get his first one last year. Now, albeit as a 16-year-old, didn't get tons of ice time.
Played 38 games. Took Craig Cunningham 53 games before he got his first goal.
Right.
Went on to score 28.
0 the first year for Cunningham, 11 the next year, and then 28. So it can change that fast, but good for JT Barnett. Here come the Rockets. Shot into Vancouver territory. Assels in the corner. Lamoureux for the Giants gobbles it up. As we hit the 3-minute mark, Crowd pretty quiet here in Kelowna. They made a lot of noise when those banners went up. And as well they should have. And they made quite a bit of noise in the first period, but Giants have had a territorial advantage as the shot clock really does tell the story. 16-3 as we speak.
Another turnover between the blue lines. You see the Rockets now doing that, committing that turnover. Really, Vancouver's getting an opportunity to get going.
And here they come again. Swenson shot, and Brown makes the glove save. May have been going off the target. We'll get a face-off.
Well, this puck that starts from just inside the Vancouver Giant blue line is a result of a turnover where Musial makes a nice job to get it up. You know Gallagher, number 11's always going to take a hit to make a pass. That's a given. You can take that one to the bank. And Swenson, you talked about him earlier, player born in Denmark that did play in Sweden, gets a nice shot, and Brown with a good save.
Cunningham going in to take the face-off. Musial is a player that will develop his storyline as it moves along, but he is the son of former NHLer Frantisek Musial. And he goes at 6'3", 190 as a 16-year-old. Rockets with the puck, but they can't get it out. Barnett held it in for a moment, no longer. Callahan now up to Novotny. Novotny going wide, going hard, taking a shot up high, and goalkeeper Tucker made the save. So it's Novotny 2, Tucker 1. Here come the Giants. And what a play by Bowman to score! Lance Bowman with one hand on his stick finishing that off. And the Giants have a 3-2 lead. That was a beauty by Lance Bowman.
You know, Cunningham going down the right wing. This is right after Novotny had gone down the right wing and tested goaltender Tucker again. And this time, Bowman going to the net. Boy, that's a tricky little play. When he drags it with his backhand and says, I'll get it on the net. Again, as a goaltender, Brown a little deep on the play, but terrific goal by Lance Bowman. Clever to drag that puck with that one arm out on his stick and just catch. I think he's saying right there, hey, I maybe got a little lucky on that one. Good timeout call by Kelowna coach Ryan Huska.
Well, indeed, Vancouver scored 3 goals in less than a 5-minute span with the overlap of the intermissions, and they've erased a 2-0 deficit.
No kidding. He's got to settle his team down. This is what I was talking about. Novotny with 2 goals. Terrific shots. This is that opportunity that just happened going up the ice. He gets that puck on the net, and there's a transition. Nice job of getting up the ice the other way. And the goal that you just saw giving Vancouver that 3-2 lead by Bowman.
So Cunningham, he gets a second assist on that goal. And just the 1 assist. So Cunningham with 2 points. Connaughton goal and assist for 2 points. And Vancouver at 4:02 have a 3-2 lead.
I mean, one of the reasons that, you know, Don Hayes' teams are so hard to play against is, you know, you watch his teams and they just go on defense so quickly. Every lack of possession that the Giants have, they seem to be on defense quicker than most teams. And when that happens, eventually it just wears the other team down. His forwards, defensemen, and probably forwards more than defense are certainly more efficient than flashy, and you've seen that even here tonight.
Rockets send the puck back into the Vancouver zone. Back to get it is Zach Hutter. Lost the puck as it squirted into the slot area for a moment. Toigo gets it. Tries to send Scheidel with a pass at the line, could not, and Toigo's going to chase it back in his own zone. Being checked there, but Nolan gets possession of the puck cleanly and gets it into the center ice area. Nearing the 5-minute mark of the second period. Hutter has his stick lifted. Trying to put it in front there is Lucas Bludoff. That's him with it back of the goal. There's a Giant that's hurt and shaken up is the youngster Hodder. The play continues. Hodder just sitting down. You can see him in your picture there. And he wasn't moving for quite some time. I didn't really see what happened to the youngster, Bill. Did you catch what happened there?
We'll have a look. I'm not too sure as well, Dan. I know that he goes up against the back wall, and you know, sometimes your leg just gets caught in a crazy position. Watch his left leg as he comes down on it in that position. Lucas Bludoff in that area dumps him to the ice. There's obviously no penalty. You look for Hodder to take his man out the way he did, and that's a big challenge if you're a 16-year-old trying to take Lucas Bludoff to the boards and win that battle, and Hodder injured. And you know, Dan, it was almost the same kind of play in front of the net that put Gary Nunn out for 6 to 8 weeks with a broken leg. He just was taken to the ice in a scrum, landed on his leg in the wrong way, and broke it in a couple spots.
Well, you know that's going through Don Hayes' mind right now. I don't want deja vu all over again, I'm sure he's saying. Gary Nunn going to be highly thought of by Vancouver fans to have a big season here. Can't get into the opening day lineup, will be out for about 6 weeks. What they were counting on, Zach Hodder, certainly counting on to be a young player to make a spot here, and that's a good sign for him. Doesn't seem, I'm not sure if it's leg or something in the upper torso there, but he's going to the bench and maybe on to the dressing room. We'll see as he gets to the Vancouver bench area.
Well, I think everybody's breathing a little bit easier. Well, now, is he holding his shoulder?
That's what I mean, upper torso, it appears. We were looking at the leg. There's a shot from the line by Borrego that goes wide. Bowman trying to hold it in, does. Henry for Vancouver, up to Gallagher. Gallagher can't get past Bowman, but they follow up and they bring it in, but it's offside at the Kelowna blue line.
Callahan with 2 assists. He's going to be a leader on this hockey club for the Kelowna Rockets. And, you know, I mean, when Mitchell Callahan does anything for anybody at any time in sports, he does it full bore. He lost his 2 front teeth this summer in a pickup game. So, looks like a hockey player, but boy, he was really a nice surprise for this team here in Kelowna last year.
Looked like he knocked the puck out with a high stick, and they're going to get away with it. It leads to a goal. Callahan seemed to knock the puck down with a high stick. Now remember, though there is video replay in all the WHL games, I don't think this one can go to video replay. Boma, the captain, talking to Zalaski. Clearly, the Rockets catch a break as this game will be tied 3-3. Watch the high stick here by Callahan. Right there. And it goes to a teammate right there.
Or does it? You saw Callahan on the forecheck. There's the teeth I'm talking about that are missing. There's a high stick. I think it hits a Vancouver Giant.
Oh, I don't know.
Laser for a bit. Novotny's been around everything in the offensive zone. I think this might be checked right now, Dan. Well, if it is a high stick, it depends who it hits. There's no question in my mind that it looks like it hits Manning right in the skate.
Right there, yeah. Left foot.
Right in his left foot. And who does it bounce to? Right back to a Kelowna Rockets, so that puck should be alive. And it should count. Callahan's been a force this hockey game, hasn't he?
Quite a bit of discussion here with Don Hay having a word with the referee on the other side. But this goal will stand at 5:32.
Well, you know, Dan, it all started, as far as I'm concerned, high stick or not. You can see what Hay thinks about it. But it all started with some very good forechecking persistence by Callahan. He broke right from the blue line, got in deep, made the hit, created that loose puck. It stands, it counts. We're tied at 3.
And here's the announcement.
Third goal, his first of the year, scored by number 24, Mitchell Callahan. Assisted by number 9, Stepan Novotny. Time of the goal, 5:32.
And here comes Vancouver with a chance and a good save by Brown off Andre Kaderna. And that's a big save at this time after Kelowna just tied the hockey game.
Well, you look for a nice bounce back shift if you're the team that just got scored upon. Kaderna can be a big guy. He's 6'2". He didn't get drafted last year, which surprised some people. But nonetheless, it gets a pat on the back, a nice bounce back shift, takes that puck hard into the offensive zone, forces Brown to make that save.
So Callahan getting the goal for Kelowna. He had 14 last year, his first of the season. And Novotny's in on it again, so he has a 3-point night going. Giants do not hold the puck in. Kelowna sending it back into the Vancouver zone. Connaughton. Now Musil. Burns can't cleanly get out of his own zone. Rockets send it over to the bench area and it's out of play.
Well, our first chance, Dan, to congratulate the 3 Western Hockey League players that won CHL awards this year. The Rookie of the Year was that sensational 16-year-old at Prince George, Brett Connolly, 30 goals. My goodness. the Defensive Player of the Year, Jonathan Blum from Vancouver, and the Scholastic Player. Good on Stefan Elliott, first-round draft pick, and also Scholastic Player of the Year, not too shabby.
Love that award. Kelowna coming out of their own zone with Poulsen. Pass up to the far wing. Hassels couldn't handle it cleanly. And here comes Gallagher going in on his forehand now as he takes that shot. Brown makes the save. So another save for Brown as Manning holds it in. Takes a shot, doesn't reach the net. Manning, good job to hold the puck in. Gallagher squeezing past a check. Here's Henry. Henry to Gallagher. Gallagher couldn't get past Bowman. And it's Kelowna getting the puck all the way down the ice. Will this be icing? Yes, it is. And the faceoff goes back into the Rocket zone.
I also want to mention the wonderful, we've talked about it a million times, we talked about it once because it's so true, the WHL scholarship program. Well, this fall, the University of New Brunswick, listen to this, folks, they got 3 Western Hockey League captains to come to their school. Ben Wright from Lethbridge, Taylor Precision, Tri-City, and Jeff Lee from Edmonton. Boy, you talk about leadership on that team. And again, the wonderful thing about this scholarship program, WHL, you pick the school you want to go to.
Kelowna and Vancouver in a 3-3 tie as we near the midway point of the second period. And the standalone season opener. A great new tradition, not so new anymore. It's the 4th year, but it is something we all look forward to now. Who are the 2 teams that are going to play on opening night? And why not these 2 clubs? First of 8 meetings this year. In fact, last year they met 14 times, and each team, when you count the playoffs, won 7. But Kelowna won the last one in the overtime to advance.
The Kelowna Rockets record for goals as a 16-year-old is Rory McDade at 15, way back in 97-98. Shane McColgan as a 16-year-old likely is going to beat that by quite a bit. I think he's a 20-25 goal scorer as a 16-year-old. But again, it makes you really appreciate Brett Connolly's 30 on a poor Prince George team last year.
As a 15-year-old, McColgan got into 4 regular season games and 4 more in the playoffs. As you see, Tucker make a save at the side of the net.
Well, his coach, McColgan's coach in LA, Jack Bocas, has said that he has never seen anybody with a more competitive attitude than Shane McColgan. He just will not quit. He will battle hard. He wants to make a play on every chance that he gets on the ice. And tell you what, he is going to be a terrific hockey player for the Kelowna Rockets.
Jobkey from the blue line. That's knocked down, didn't reach the net. Kaderna trying to chase it down. Puck loose. Kaderna gets it back again, throws it into the crease area, and Brown down low for the umpteenth time in this hockey game, freezing a puck in his goal crease area.
Well, you know, they're not pretty goals. I mean, Novotny has scored a couple. Howitzers was a great shot, but, you know, get the puck on the net. This time Kaderna gets it on Brown. It's not nothing special, but it is effective. Brown holding his own. Both goaltenders, shots on goal, 26 right now, favoring the Vancouver Giants. So certainly Brown been the busier of the 2. Not sure I like that save percentage of 3 goals that the Rockets have scored on 6 shots for Tucker. But it's still early in this hockey game. Barely at the halfway point.
Tucker's save percentage last year was 93.6. Didn't play tons, but what a save percentage. What a set of stats he had as a backup to Tyson Sexsmith.
Well, Dan, his save percentage and his goals against average would have been #1 in the Western Hockey League had he played the required number of games.
Manning knocked off stride and then knocked down again by Lucas Bludoff. Manning back up again trying to get the puck. Lucas Bludoff with his big body shielding it. Manning continued to try to get it from him, but Lucas on the back, or the wraparound I should say, had it roll off his stick, in Vancouver not only get it, but they're able to send it into Rocket territory. Giants making a change with 10:40 to go in the second period. And another Kelowna penalty is going to come up as Henry was tripped up heading to the net as he darted out of the corner. And for the 5th time tonight, keep in mind Vancouver has 2 power play goals, 5th power play chance for Vancouver.
Barreto goes to the corner, to check Henry and finds himself really not having the kind of position that he'd like to have, and ends up resorting to this play there. Takes him down. In fact, I'm not so sure. It might have been St. Dennis's stick that got in the way, but it's a 2-minute penalty. Henry with a good job in the corner. It is St. Dennis that's called on the tripping minor, and again, Giants go to power play. I think they've got 2, haven't they, on the power play tonight?
They do. 2 for 4 with the man advantage. Lucille back to collect the puck. Here's Boma. Rockets break it up and send it down the ice. Tucker, Adam Lucille. Lucille plays it cross ice, and Toigo slaps it in from center. Lucille can't hold it cleanly. Well, he did a pretty good job holding it in after all. Looked like it was going to come out. Gets it back again. Now he plays it cross ice. Toigo, Cunningham. Barnett's back at the goal. Can't get him the puck. Toigo once more. Now it goes to Barnett. There's Boma with it. Boma trying to get by Barry Connaught. Lucille from the line. Shoots it through traffic, and it's tipped off the target. That was a good deflection. Not sure which Giant got their stick on it. Might have been Boma. Just went wide of the goal. Cunningham was right in front of that net as well. Under a minute to go in the power play. 9.5 to go in the second period. 3-3 tie. Kelowna led 2-0. Vancouver had a 3-2 lead. Now we're even. Gallagher. Now Manning. Long shot. Again, Brown makes a save. Rebound goes wide of the net. We'll battle for it in this corner. Kaderna and Gallagher in there. Nice pass by Gallagher on the back end as he gets it to Manning. Manning also on his back end. Plays it down to Kaderna in front of the net. Here's a chance for Connaughton. Holds. Sharp angle. Can't get the shot. But Connaughton maintains possession. Connaughton tried to pass and went off a leg. And the Rockets able to force it out, and indeed have forced Vancouver to take an icing.
You don't play for Don Hay unless your puck retrieval skills are very, very good. And when you're on the power play, you want to make sure that if the shot goes on the net, you get guys going after it quickly. That's a good job. Watch this. Watch the guys. 1, 2, 3. That's after the shot from the blue line. Puck possession maintained. Another opportunity to go on the power play. That's a key when you take the shot, get that puck back as quickly as you can. Still 9 seconds left on this power play for Vancouver. They should run out on this turnover there.
As the puck flips high, St. Dennis is back on the ice, and here's Lucas Bludoff jumping on the puck right in on goal. He's tripped up. There'll be a penalty as Lucas Bludoff was charging to the net, and Kelowna will have a power play when we come back. It's a 3-3 tie in the second period. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Giants head coach Don Hay, what do you have to do on this power play here?
Well, we got to kill it off, that's for sure.
Or penalty kill, pardon me.
We got to kill it off. Yeah. So, you know, I thought we did a good job getting back in the game. A little bit of a lull here. This is a critical time of the game.
Your thoughts on the way the team's played so far to this point?
I think we've been okay. You know, we got down early, but we kept battling back. And, you know, right now it's a pretty exciting game.
Right on. Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
This is the penalty kill they're talking about. Lucas Bludoff just catches Manning flat-footed. Connaughton has to come back and take his man out of the play. Connaughton in the penalty box. There's the signal. There's the call. Kelowna power play.
It's only their second man advantage of the game. Watch that skate come up. Bludoff hit the goaltender Tucker right in the head. St. Dennis moves in. And then he holds the puck. St. Dennis will be lots of fun to watch on this power play this year. He and Barry, you can imagine that. Novotny could be the trigger guy. Here's St. Dennis shot. Goes wide of the net. Lucas Bludoff in there as well. Barry. Down low it goes. McColgan, back it goes to Barry. McColgan winds up, shoots. That's blocked by Manning. McColgan. Now from the line, Novotny shot, and Tucker seemed to get an arm on it. Novotny walking in, looking for his hat-trick goal in this game. Another chance for him. Novotny scores! Stepan Novotny, a hat trick on opening night.
Stepan Novotny had a chance earlier off that right wing when I thought he was given a lot of room to walk in. And I don't think the Giants, this is the play I was talking about. He doesn't score there, but he does on this one. Barry with the play keeps it going. Now they get it to Novotny. He has absolutely been a rifle shooting that puck tonight. That's his hat trick, and well, it should be. Those are some laser-like shots he's given Jamie Tucker, the laser treatment on those shots. They are finding the back of the net because there's very difficult time stopping it when you get that kind of speed.
Here comes Cunningham for Vancouver. And his pass doesn't get through as he pick up the Novotny call of the goal. I think Barry will get the
Assisted
second
by number
assist.
23, Kyle St. Dennis. And by number 4, Tyson Berry.
And he does.
Time of the goal, 12-18. Rockets fourth goal.
And there's the Giants trying to come back. Chance in the goal mouth area. Puck frozen for a moment. Will it stay frozen? Barnett trying to dig it free. Cunningham in there as well. Seesaw battle on opening night. Rockets led 2-0. Vancouver had a 3-2 lead. Now 2 straight goals for Kelowna. Can I jog your memory from a year ago, Bill?
All right.
Michael Stickland, standalone season opener.
Was it 4?
4 goals. Novotny's got 3, and he's got an assist.
And that guy trying to break through there, Callahan's had himself a pretty good 2 periods so far, almost 2 periods. But I think this is the kind of game, Dan, that the fans in this league are going to really come to see this year. Really, it's up a lot of things up in the air.
McColgan takes that shot wide of the goal. And again, the building noisy. Borrego wandering down the boards. High shot up on Tucker. And now it's Manning. Pass up to the center ice area. Broken up and shot right back in. It's a delayed offside, so the Giants able to move it out. Manning bumped. Nice hit there by Jobkey. Jobkey, by the way, his cousin is Jason Bay of Boston Red Sox fame. Lucas Bludoff sends the puck out. St. Denis giving chase. St. Denis getting the puck. St. Denis on the backhand, looks up, there's Lucas Bludoff. Quick shot wide of the goal. And the Rockets really coming on here after not playing particularly well at various stages of this game. Playing their best hockey of the night right now. Burns sends it in. Jobkey and Bludoff hit Burns, knocking him off the puck. Gallagher goes in. Burns gets the puck. Henry's in front. Can they get him the puck? Rockets trying to deny the pass, and they do, at least so far. Gallagher can't get it. Lucas Bludoff on the back check, comes up with it. And out he comes. Nice pass right onto Barry's stick. Barry has St. Denis with them. Looks like they're trying to shoot high on Tucker. Every shot seems to be up there. St. Denis and Henry battling for the puck. Musil gets it. Giants coming out of their own zone. And it's Henry with a little bit of room. Trying to find Gallagher. Missed him. Gallagher hits Chapman. Maine takes the puck on the far boards. Toigo takes it off him. Toigo does a good job to handle that puck. Got it in front, at least towards the front of the goal for Henry. And Henry's hit by Ito. And Toigo holds the puck in. This is pretty spirited for opening night, Bill.
Oh yeah, both teams trying to establish something in the forecheck, getting in deep and staying in rather than just having bodies, in that offensive zone. That's the key on the forecheck.
And they're going to the body right now. Both teams are. Puck shot in. Here's Cunningham. Cunningham can't get it. Oh, Barnett tried to throw a check as he had Adolph lined up. Adolph must have hurt him because he sidestepped it. And Gogol starts back. Nice pass right on Adolph's stick. Adolph trying to get possession of it in that corner. Lots of bodies there, but the Rockets have it. There's a wraparound, and Tucker makes the save, and Rockets try to get a second shot in the traffic, but could not. Lance Bowman now to Craig Cunningham. Cunningham, drop pass, Funk shot. That's knocked down by the last man back. I think Gogol made that save. And Brown then covers it up at the side of the net. But credit that save for big Kurt Gogol.
Again, Cunningham goes down that right side. It's going to end up on Funk's stick. I'm not sure this shot might have been going wide, but Funk, number 4, is going to move into that spot. And I think as that puck hits the defenseman Gogol in front of the net, it might have just ended up going a little bit wide. But nonetheless, certainly no rebound, no second chance to get at anything. And Funk thinking, man, if I could just pick a little better spot over on that other side, might have had a chance. But that's a nice acquisition, Ryan Funk, for this hockey team. Tough kid, boy. He stands up for his teammates. They love to have him in Vancouver.
3 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the second period. Dan Russell and Bill Wilms and the entire Shaw crew welcoming you for another season of WHL action on Shaw. We look forward to bringing you lots and lots of games in the regular season and four rounds again of playoffs. And we hope you'll make it a habit to join us once again this year. Kelowna Rockets, defending champs, ranked 10th on the first CHL top 10 ranking. Calgary, Brandon, and Saskatoon also made the preseason poll of the top 10 from the Western Hockey League. Here's Barry. Barry still with possession. Shot by Bulmer, went off a leg. Now the Giants getting it for a moment, at least. Lane Scheidel played it back. Jobke gets it to McColgan. No further, the puck comes back out to the neutral zone area. Here come the Rockets once more, and a shot on Tucker, and he makes the save. That's the 10th shot on goal, so it's 4 goals on 10 shots now for Kelowna. 3 goals on 23 shots for the Vancouver Giants. McColgan to Novotny, it's offside at the line.
What a night so far that Novotny has had from the Czech Republic. Watch where he scores these goals from. And watch the shot. Coming down the right side. That was at 52 seconds. Coming down the left wing. He's picked those spots. Well, why not get one from the top of the slot? All on that hard shot. 3 goals for Novotny so far here on opening night. 4-3, the Rockets lead.
Early birthday presents for Novotny on the 21st of this month. 4 days from now, he'll have a birthday, so will Kurt Gogol. Nothing better than scoring to celebrate.
We see Zach Hodder back out there, so that's good news for Vancouver.
It's him with the puck right now. Looked like when he left, he was favoring a shoulder injury, and that was in this period. So Giants able to get him back in the game. And here comes Kelowna out of their own zone. I'm just thinking about the last time they met here, and Vancouver had a chance to force a game 7. They had a 4-2 lead with under 5 minutes to go, and the Rockets exploded, tied it, won it in the overtime. And I don't know if you and I have ever been in the building, this building, that has had more noise than that night.
Went nuts, absolutely nuts. It was fun to be here. Boma, how does he get through 3 guys? It's a shot on net, picked up a nice pass from Lamoureux, and then even in a lot of traffic, found a way to get that puck on the net.
8th captain.
And that's right, it's a lot of stick checking in that situation is never going to get the job done, but that's the teachable moments. I think coaches at this point, both Hay and Huska, they don't, you're not looking for perfection, Dan. You're just looking for some progress.
Lucas Bludoff puts it over top. 8th captain, Boma in club history. I don't know if that counts Milan Lucic or not. They named him captain, and he never came back.
Yeah, Boma 3 goals. He went to 12 goals his second year, and then 9 last year in 48 games played. And then, as I said earlier, 7 in 17 playoff games. So there's a guy that really, I think is on the cusp of really breaking loose. Calgary Flames think they've got more offense, or there is more offense scoring in Lance Bowman than he has shown so far, but he really came to life in the playoffs. But you know what? You take a look at Callahan, you take a look at Boma. Don't you think every National Hockey League team needs a Callahan or a Boma in their lineup? I think they can make it.
Opening night here. Kelowna, by the way, has lost 3 straight season openers. Giants have won 3 straight season openers. This one, a 1-goal game, last minute of the second period. It's been a good one here, and kind of think it might go right down the wire the way it's playing out so far. Vancouver trailing, but maybe a slight territorial edge for much of the night. Certainly an edge on the shot clock. Cunningham from behind the goal. On his forehand, then on his backhand. St. Denis trying to stay with him, but Cunningham gets it back, and the shot goes wide of the net. That was Peluso putting the puck wide. Good job by Cunningham to protect that puck and finally find Peluso in the slot. Here's Lucas Bludov going in one-on-one on Manning as he puts the shot wide of the net. Gogol following it up. Gogol and Peluso battling for it. A dozen seconds now remain in the period. Held in by Barry. Dumped back of the net. Lucas Bludov is tied up. There's going to be a penalty on Vancouver. They'll call it high sticking, and Kelowna, not so much at the end of this period, but at the beginning of the next period, we'll have a power play.
Now, Ryan Funk, I think, is called on the play. Lucas Bludov, we saw him earlier, a handful for a couple defensemen. He's a big guy, 6'2". He's tough to pin to that back wall. There he is again. This time, Ryan Funk can't get control of him. He tries to pin him, but if you get that stick out and make any contact with it, you're going to get called just about every time. And maybe obviously with 1.9 seconds it's not going to mean anything now, but it's something for the Kelowna Rockets to build on in the dressing room. A game they lead 4-3. They'll have most of this power play in the second period.
So McCogan on the draw here. Tries to play back to Barry and a quick shot. Didn't reach the net. And as Bill mentioned, it will be a 1-goal game going to the third period. Each team with 2 goals in this middle stanza. All right, let's go back to Dan Elliott.
Thank you very much, Dan. Here's what is on tap for the second intermission. Vancouver Giants Mighty Might Brendan Gallagher will join Stu Walters ringside. Commissioner Ron Robinson is in the building. We'll drop by to talk about what's going on around the league these days, plus inside the WHL with Mr. Cam Moon. It is the Rockets leading the Giants 4-3 through 40 minutes of play. You're watching the WHL season opener on Shaw TV.
Ladies and gentlemen,
in the second period intermission, it is the Rockets 4, the Giants 3. I'm here with Giants forward Brendan Gallagher. Brendan, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. You guys fight back from a 2-0 deficit to have the lead in that middle frame here, but now you're down 1. How have you seen the game played out so far?
Well, obviously we were just a little disappointed to be down by 1 after the first period, but we battled back there in the second, got a 2-0 lead, forced them to take a timeout. But then I think we kind of lost our focus and took the foot off the gas pedal a bit there, and we're behind again, so we're going to have to battle back.
Talk about some of the positives. You guys are out shooting them 24 to 11. It looks like you're doing something right.
Yeah, that's obviously a big key to our game, getting pucks to net. So I think it's this third period, it's going to be a big thing for us, getting pucks to net. But we got to score goals, got to be able to beat Brown. So.
How key is it to put Novotny away here? I mean, has he had a little bit of too much time and space tonight?
I think that's what it is. Obviously, he's a shooter. He's got a good shot, but we got to do a better job of shutting him down. We know he's obviously on tonight, so we got to be able to shut him down this third period.
All right, good luck in the final 20, Brendan.
Okay, thanks.
Dan, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Stu. Up here on the concourse, got the WHL Championship trophy at Chanel Cup on one side, and the commissioner of the WHL, Ron Robinson, who gets the honor of handing that out every year. Well, Ron, maybe first off, your thoughts on the first game of the season here. 4th time we've had a standalone game here on the WHL on Shaw.
Well, it's lots of offense. It's real early, obviously. Coaches, I'm sure, got a lot of work to do. It's a real process with young players anytime you're turning over, and these 2 organizations who've had such great success in this division and league for that matter have their work cut out for them. But it's really fun to watch the young players enter the league and display the type of skill level that they've got.
Well, I know we were talking about it just off air there. You know, we think about all the stars that were on the Kelowna Rockets, and even with the Giants, with all the talent they had, and all of a sudden they're gone for now, at least some of them, and they just sort of fill in. These are 2 franchises that do a great job of just doesn't seem to miss a beat.
Well, turnover, obviously, we're a development league, and that's a process we go through and at our level, and we understand that it's all about bringing those young players in and giving them that opportunity. But organizations like the Kelowna Rockets and the Vancouver Giants have done such a great job in drafting and developing players as they come into the organization that they'll respond very quickly to the challenge ahead.
Especially with the kind of coaches they got on their bench too.
Yeah, they're really good shape. Obviously, when you look at Don Hay, what can you say about Don? He's been he's probably one of the most outstanding coaches in the history of our game and our level. And of course, Ryan Huska, who Western Hockey League Championship last year, and what a record he's had with the Kelowna Rockets, and one of the finest young coaches in the game today.
This offseason, in terms of turnover, in terms of the coaching carousel, it was unbelievable the names that had come in. I mean, in terms of the league, what kind of impact do you have these guys? Because it seems like everybody wants to coach the WHL these days.
Well, I think we offer such a great opportunity for coaches. Generally, the league is so competitive. You've got that aspect of young players who are wanting to develop, and we want to create the best environment we can for young players. And obviously, to have coaches with the experience that we're getting back into the league, people like Mark Habscheid, of course, Craig Harksburg coming back, Curtis Hunt back, Dean Clark. We've got a great group of complement of veteran-type coaches with a lot of experience. But I'm excited about our young coaches, too, in the league. When you look around and you see Mark Hollick and Kootenay or Jesse Wallen and Red, there's a couple of examples. We've got some outstanding coaches with great potential.
I want to ask you about, obviously, over the last year, there's a lot of concern about the slumping economy in North America. In terms of the WHL, has there been any concerns from your point of view?
Well, obviously, it affects everyone. At the end of the day, we're going to be impacted one way or the other, but we've monitored it very close. We thought we prepared ourselves quite well. I think the fact that we have lower price point in terms of tickets, a family affordable product with good value, we've been able to weather the storm. And from a season ticket standpoint, we've seen some ups and some downs, but overall, we're across the board. We're where we think we should be. And from a corporate standpoint, we tremendous corporate sponsorship and advertisers throughout the league.
Yeah, because I couldn't say, I mean, obviously every team goes through their ebbs and flows in terms of their attendance, but overall, I mean, it seems, again, here tonight, just another fantastic crowd. It doesn't seem to change.
Well, we're really fortunate because we're very predictable in that sense. Our fans are very loyal. They keep coming back season after season, and, to have that, economic downturn, which affected everybody across the league and all of the markets, to see them respond, it's a wonderful thing, and we're very fortunate to have that support.
The big change this offseason, you guys made a few rule changes with regards to fighting. When it came down to it and you sat down with everybody, was there any conflict whatsoever in changing the rules, but everybody was on board?
No, I think everyone, we continue to challenge ourselves. The general managers do an outstanding job of looking at it. We certainly provide them with the data that we need. I think when you look at it, really fighting, yes, we wanted to address some areas which we felt were maybe some areas of what we deemed to be unnecessary fighting. But overall, fighting isn't an issue for us. We feel that, when you look at the playoffs, you look at the meaningful games, there's very few fights, if any, in those situations. We feel that in those types of situations where it's part of the game, the flow of the game, it belongs, and we've got a responsibility to prepare those players moving to professional hockey. So we think we've balanced that pretty well with the new rules we've introduced.
But it's a responsibility on your side for their safety as well, I guess.
Absolutely. Always we look at the player safety first and foremost in any of the rules that we're introducing. But again, I think we don't want to react too quickly to situations. We want to make sure that we have the opportunity to thoroughly discuss it. We don't want to make decisions midstream or mid-season at any time. We want to make sure we stand back and look at the overall scenario, the rate of these types of situations that might occur, and address them through our general managers and the rule process that we have in place.
Well, it's another exciting year for the WHL because, of course, you guys are hosting the Memorial Cup this year in Brandon. I haven't been to Brandon in a while now. It's been probably about 20 years since I was last there, but what's the buzz about the Memorial Cup going to be held there in May, of course?
Well, of course, there can't be more excitement than there is in Brandon right now. Season tickets are at a record level, and that's because there's an option to get that Memorial Cup package, which when you talk about a facility that's approximately 5,000 seats, and with the improvement that's being made in the facility, a credit to the city of Brandon, the province of Manitoba, it's going to be one of the largest sporting events ever held in southwestern Manitoba, and as a result, excitement is going to be at an all-time high.
Last one in the Western Hockey was in Vancouver, a huge venue. Now go to a smaller market. Do you like? I love the idea that it's in the small town and getting back kind of the roots of hockey.
Well, I think when you look at it, the majority of our markets are those mid-sized centers and centers who have been long-standing supporters of the Western Hockey League, and this is the 44th season of the Western Hockey League. We've never had the Memorial Cup solely in Brandon as an exclusive host of the event, and the organizing committee, Kelly McCrimmon and the Brandon Wheat Kings, the entire community is excited, and we can't wait till May.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic season. Well, thank you very much for stopping by and enjoy it. I mean, this is game one. You're only just getting started.
Well, it's a long way around, but it just seems like a few weeks ago we were here and handing out the Itchin' Out Cup, but we're looking forward to another exciting year.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing this. All right, we got to take a quick break. Lots more to come from here at Prospero Place. It's the Rockets leading the Giants 4-3 through 2 periods of playing game 1 of the WHL season. Welcome back to Prospero Place in Kelowna for Game 1 of the 2009-2010 WHL season. Kelowna Rockets leading the Vancouver Giants 4-3. Stepan Novotny with the hat trick plus the assist, giving 4 points on the night. Cam Moon back upstairs here to go inside the WHL. I think Novotny would even have beaten you if you were in net with those shots.
Wow, yeah. He's anywhere by the 4x6. And unbelievable.
Yeah.
The last 2 goals he scored, there really wasn't much room in both cases, and he put it exactly where he wanted. Those were some skilled goals, and I heard Dan and Bill talk about it. It was shades of last year. Michael Stickland had 4 goals that opening night. We were in Cranbrook, and Novotny's well on his way here.
Well, now hopefully for his sake, Michael Stickland didn't have the greatest year in terms of goal scoring after that first game, so hopefully for Stepan Novotny, he'll really be able to keep it going. But I mean, obviously he's an important part of this offense because they lose 54% of their goal scoring from last year.
And that's tough when you lose that much all at once. I mean, that's not exactly how you want it to always go. But hey, you're going to have to replenish. I mean, younger guys that maybe didn't play big roles last year, their roles increase, and they have to improve, and they have to step up. That's all part of the process in the Western League. And then the first-year players, they have to come in and be able to contribute. You have to have guys that are coming in that are ready to go, and that all comes down to your scouting staff and be able to find those players and bring them in. And the Kelowna Rockets, you look at their track record over the course of the 2000s, it's been pretty darn good. 3 WHL championships, a Memorial Cup championship in there as the host team. I mean, they've proven that they'll be able to bounce back sooner than later.
And the Giants haven't been that bad in the 21st
Yeah, not
century.
bad. Yeah, not bad.
Either. You're talking about guys stepping up. One of the expectations for the Giants this year is Jamie Tucker, who comes in as the starting goaltender. Hasn't had the best game, 4 goals on 11 shots. He did look very shaky on that first goal, but Don Hay has a ton of confidence in him because he went to Columbus camp. He came back. He said there's no debate. He's his #1 guy.
Well, yeah, and it's tough when you're playing in a game like this, and you know, the first goal is notwithstanding, but after that, when Kelowna gets a chance, they haven't been getting many of them, but when they do, they've been getting a good one.
Well, yeah.
A real good one. And so that makes it difficult on the netminder, and he's got to deal with inactivity and then a really good chance against. So I wouldn't read too much into it.
Another guy to watch that has a goal and assist tonight for the Giants, Kevin Connaughton. We talked about him off the top, coming from Western Michigan, drafted by the Canucks, now playing for the Giants. He doesn't seem like he'll be out of place at all.
Yeah, I think he's okay. That's what a great pickup for the Giants. You get a guy like this that is poised, he's strong on the puck. It's good for the league to have guys like this come in, guys that are world-class players like Connaughton, and just obviously the Giants are pretty excited about it. They should be. You add a guy into your lineup that's a top-notch defenseman, a top 4 guy right off the hop, and you know it makes the league better when we see guys coming that way.
Well, yeah, and another guy for them, David Musil, obviously a young guy, some good pedigree there, but just 16 years of age. He's a huge body, and you know, they talked about him being one of the best prospects ever to come out of the Czech Republic.
He doesn't play like he's 16. A lot of times you see guys come in, first-year defensemen in particular, and it's a tough position at 16 to cut your teeth in the WHL. A guy's flying by you, and all of a sudden, you know, you're looking like a fire hydrant on a freeway.
You got your head on a swivel.
Exactly. But he's done a great job in this game, and there's been a fair amount of billing towards him about how good a player he was, and I hadn't been able to see him play. And in this game, to this point, he looks pretty sharp, pretty strong on the puck, too. This is a guy that not only will be a contributor as a 16 this year, but definitely the years to come.
We know these two teams don't like each other. You've been down there on the bench. Any witty banter going between these two?
They haven't conjured up that heavy rivalry or dislike to this point. There hasn't been a lot of between the two. But hey, that could change in a third. Who knows? I mean, we could have a brouhaha before it's all over, but it doesn't seem like it's going that way.
Yeah, stay tuned till later in the
Okay.
season. All right, that does it for us here on the concourse level. Time now to send it back upstairs. Join Dan, Bill, and hear what they have to say through 40 minutes, guys.
I'd be surprised if there's a brouhaha in this game. There's a lot of new faces. They have to get used to one another before they start that kind of talk. But a lot of lead changes here tonight as well.
Nothing safe, no question. And I heard the guys talking about Stepan Novotny. The third goal will show you his hat-trick goal in a little bit is a thing of beauty. But here's the scoring this period. Really nice job of JT Barnett taking that shot, deflecting it in there. When you get a look at it this angle, watch it. We'll slow it down and see if we can see at what point he touches it. There it is, back and forth, just waist high, beautiful eye-hand coordination. So good, we'll take one more look at it. Great deflection. That tied it at 2. And then nice transition by Vancouver. Novotny again on the shot, up the ice. Cunningham takes that hit to get the pass to Bowman. He just kind of blows by Mitchell Chapman, a rookie. Callahan made it, tied at 3. Good work. He wins a battle in the corner, Dan, and then he gets that great position on the defensive front of the net. That's high stick ended up on Novotny's stick, finally on Callahan's. That made it happen. This is the goal here that we're talking about. Oh, I'll tell you, you watch when we slow this down and stop it. Watch the fake. Now, hold it right there, guys. He just faked that shot to let Henry slide out of the way and then goes up the corner. Great wrist shot. And they talked about it downstairs, and you're right. It's been a great night for Stepan Novotny. 4-3 Rockets. I don't think that's going to be the last goal tonight, folks.
I've got a feeling you might be right. Sobey scoring summary. There it is in the second period. As I say, 2 goals for each team, so we'll have to keep her going there to page 2. Barnett, Boma, Callahan, and Novotny. After 2, 4-3 Rockets. It's the WHL on Shaw. Welcome back to Kelowna. Dan Russell alongside Phil Wilms, Dan Elliott, Cam Moon, Stu Walters. Our executive producer is Russ Greaves. Our game producer, Dave Roberts. Our director tonight, Breanne Jefferson. Grant Wilkins from WHL Central. All of us at Shaw, thank you very much for tuning us in on opening night tonight. We have a very competitive hockey game going on. It's these two teams staging what they usually do. And at this time, the WHL and Shaw is pleased to recognize Cal Tire and Husky and Mohawk as WHL Prestige partners. As we start this third period, Kelowna will start with the power play. Very late second period penalty taken by Vancouver as Funk is in the penalty box. Kelowna on their third power play of the night, and here they are to the attack with that fresh ice, and they're buzzing all around. A big scramble, and somewhere under that is Tucker who's able to hold it. I don't know how he did.
Novotny this time, we've seen him shoot that puck all night. This time he simply says, I'm going to throw it to the front of the net and let other guys crash the net. There's Bludoff, there's McColgan, there's all that traffic in front of the net, and somehow Tucker, let's look him battle it for the puck. Little interference, he's run into a bit in the crease area. Musil, big body, with guys we're talking about, 6'3" in front of the net. Keep that puck out. Good attack. Started again by a hat-trick scorer tonight, Novotny.
Early stages here of the period, and Kelowna wins the faceoff. Novotny to St. Denis. St. Denis to Lucas Bludoff. Shot, rebound, St. Denis crushing to the net. And Tucker's got it, able to hold on again.
Again, crashing the net. That's what you talked about, Dan. They get it to the front of the net and then get people to the net. St. Denis in low. St. Denis shows up. Bludoff 17 for Kelowna Rockets. Probably the guy that created most of that traffic in front of the net.
Here's Novotny, already with 3 goals tonight. Looking for another, passes. Kyle St. Denis in front for Novotny. Can't get the forehand shot away. Here's Barry. Barry to McColgan. McColgan to Barry. A one-timer is knocked down in front, but the rebound is right there. Tucker makes a first save and a second. Shot by Lucas Bludoff rolls wide of the net. Barry. Now McColgan. McColgan. Lucas Bludoff. Shot goes wide. Barry hustling after it. Funk, the penalized player, still has a minute to go, but he's standing up like he wants to come out right now. And with all that pressure already, the first half of his penalty, I can't say I blame him. Musil. Now Lucas Bludoff. Giants get it, can't clear it. They had clear possession. Rockets able to hold it in. But now Vancouver with a second opportunity to move it. This time they make no mistake to get it out. Barry trying to chase it down over here, cannot. Boma. Now Barry once more. Barry out of his own zone. 12 seconds to go in the penalty as Maine follows up, backhands it into the Vancouver zone. Manning from back of the net. Lost it. Rockets throw it in front of the net, right into the crease area again. And Tucker's able to hold it out.
That's the best the Kelowna power play has looked, Dan, all night. They're getting that puck to the net.
Funk out of the box. A shot on goal is stopped by Brown. As Funk came out of the box and they had a partial 2-on-1 brewing there. Still 4-3 Kelowna. Maine sidesteps Peluso. Tries to chop it into the Vancouver zone. Gets a couple chances. Rockets making a line change. Vancouver gets it out to center ice. Here's Maine once more. Trying to get in deep. There's going to be another penalty here. Is there too many men? It sure looks like it.
Anytime you see the referee counting like that, pointing at people and counting, you know it's too many men. Funk out of the penalty box creates a 2-on-1, and nice job by the goaltender. Just, I think he got a piece of it, Brown did, but that's Funk on the rush. He doesn't score a ton of goals. Knows he's got to get it on the net. Was hoping like heck his team didn't get scored on, and while he was in the box and thought, well, you know what, I might be able to tie this game up, but 4 coming out of the box, and I don't know, let's count them. Well, I don't know, it's a little tough, but there's certainly too many men, and it is a Vancouver power play.
Giants on yet another one, and they've had 5 tonight, a couple power play goals to boot. Here's Connaughton holding it. Connaughton gets the puck back again. He took it from Cunningham. Barnett from behind the net. Here's Manning on the far side. Manning puts it down in front of the net. A shot, they score! The game is tied again as the Giants cash in on the power play. Connaughton made it happen from the blue line, and gobbling it up to get the goal is Henry, or is it Barnett? Sorry, Barnett, his second of the night, and it's a 4-4 tie.
You know, it is Connaughton who starts to play at the left point, but I think it's Neil Manning on the far side is going to get that puck on the net. That's Manning. You know, there's only one right-hand shot defenseman on this Vancouver Giant team, so you're taking pucks on your left shot. You got to slide away from the boards. Manning does a good job of getting it to the front of the net. JT Barnett, his second of the night, ties the game. It's the 3rd power play goal for Vancouver.
Let's pick up the announcement on the scoring play.
By number 14, Craig Cunningham, and by number 8, Neil Manning.
And here are the Rockets trying to come back out.
Vancouver goal, power play goal scored by JT Barnett.
It's Barnett from Cunningham and Manning. That's his scoring play. 3 minutes into it. And the Giants have really been good on the power play. And here comes Novotny. Novotny holding it, shooting it. And the goalie, Tucker, makes the save, able to hold on at the same time.
And I think Jamie Tucker is very, very thankful, saying, guys, finally Novotny shoots it right at me. He's been picking every corner I've given him. Watch it, he hits the Giants crest right in the middle. And again, Tucker says, thank goodness I made that save. You know, I think it's important for Jamie Tucker, and on that power play, Dan, that the Rockets had, I thought Tucker played some of his best goal of this entire game. I think, you know, being that they haven't, you know, given up a lot of shots, and still the Rockets do have 4 goals, I think it's important for Tucker to play well the rest of this hockey game for his confidence sake.
For those watching in the Lower Mainland, the Giants will play their home opener on Saturday as they host Craig Hartsburg's Everett Silvertips. That's the first game at the P&E, and if you're a Giants fan, you ought to get out to the P&E early because they are front end loaded, as they say. So this being an Olympic year, they'll be out of that P&E from early January till March. And Don Hay, nobody better to go through that experience, because when the Olympics were in Salt Lake City, he was the American Hockey League coach that year when, again, that team had to be uprooted due to the Olympics being in their city.
And the Silvertips last year had the best 17-year-old scoring line in the Western Hockey League with Maxwell, Totchkin, and Froze. They're all in NHL camps. They should be back as a 18-year-old line. They should be good.
Look at Barry going in. Barry throwing it into the crease area, and Callahan couldn't quite finish it off. Barry's had a nice game here tonight for Kelowna, just getting back from his NHL team early this afternoon. Giants out of their own zone, or are they? Just barely the first time, and now they're out. Paderna tips it in. 4-4 tie, 4:44 gone, third period. Callahan. Now Connaughton slaps it in. Barry. Lead pass up for Callahan. High shot from well out. Barnett with 2 goals tonight. That's pretty exciting. Score 1 all the whole year. And you get 2 on the first night of your second year. And here's a wraparound chance, and Cunningham battling there. Brown's got it and holds on to stop the play.
He talked about Tyson Barrie. This is what he does so well. He slides down that right side, and one thing about Tyson Barrie, he will get the puck. You let him pass him to the outside, protects it beautifully. The wraparound, Tucker makes the save. And on the other end, Cunningham with some good work, doing the same kind of job on the forecheck, spinning around trying to jam that puck in close, and both goaltenders would have nothing of it. This game stays tied at 4. You know, Tyson Barrie, you were talking about him. He watched the draft on the internet. You know, his dad owns the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he was texting his dad saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't draft me. He definitely did not want to go to the Lightning. Colorado picked him in the 3rd round. I think the Colorado Avalanche got 2 pretty good defensemen. They got former teammates Stefan Elliott and Barrie.
Don't do it, don't do it. How many NHL or Western Hockey League or CHL draft eligible players have ever had that luxury to text your dad and say, don't.
I'll kill you if you draft me.
Down the ice it goes for a rocket icing.
Well, it's all about, you know, determination at this point. Shots on goal, 26-19 favoring the Vancouver Giants. It's tied to 14:25 left, and you know there's going to be mistakes. There's no question about it. I don't think this game's been highlighted by great goaltending at either end, but that's not to take anything away from these guys. It's early in the season, but you know, one thing about both these hockey clubs, what a home record. Last year, Vancouver won 30 games at home. How about the Kelowna Rockets? 28-7 on home ice last year. Dan, that kind of slid past me. I know that, you know, some of the other teams, like that 30 wins by Vancouver is great, but boy, 2 wins less by the Rockets on home ice, and very, very good year.
Oh, indeed. I mean, and they had 67 more goals than their opponents here in their home ice record. I just think of Vancouver, too, last year on the road. I mean, they posted, you think 28 home wins is impressive, 27 road wins by the Giants a year ago. Boy, that Vancouver player, is that Boma?
Yeah, that is
going
Lance
hard
Boma.
in there. There's a lot, and he's hurt, and the puck comes right into his body as the play is whistled down, and the referee doesn't want anything to do with any combativeness here, especially around the injured player Boma.
Well, sometimes Lance Boma it comes like a cop with the siren on. You know he's coming. Chapman knows he's coming. Good for Chapman. He ducks down, and Boma takes the brunt of that as he goes right over top of him. Shoulder, side of the head. You know, one thing about Lance Boma, if he catches you, he's going to punish you, but sometimes he doesn't get the best piece of guys and, you know, takes the brunt of it himself. Cam, anything happening down there as far as talk between the benches, between these two teams that are tied at 4?
Well, yeah, the first 2 periods, it was pretty tame down here. Here in the 3rd period, though, it's definitely ramped up. And we've run the gamut. We've discussed last year's playoffs down here. We've discussed people's courage on the ice. It's been very enjoyable here in the 3rd period.
Who's the loudest speakers? Who's chirps the most? Callahan, I guess, has got a lot to say.
Yeah, he's had a few things to say. Gogol has piped up a few times. Cunningham for Vancouver.
Here comes Henry for Vancouver, going in on the back end, and they score! Henry went to the net. Brown, I thought, had it, but it bounced past him in the net, and the Vancouver Giants in this seesaw season opener have regained a lead.
James Henry gets the puck on his backhand, and he knows that he's up against Tyson Barrie. And if he can get wide on him at all, he takes the feed. Good break, good stretch pass up the ice, and there's Henry gets it up high. That puck is just laying there, but again, Swenson joins the fray. It's Swenson that probably gets the goal, as you'll see that loose puck just lay there. And again, all was set up by some very, very good work by James Henry taking it to the net.
It looks like it is Henry's goal, and we'll wait for the official announcement. Here it is right now.
22, James Henry, assisted by number 11, Brendan Gallagher, and by number 4, Ryan Funk. Time of the goal, 6:14.
So Henry, who had 14 goals last year, and he was hot in the preseason at the end. He had 6 points in his last 3 preseason games. He scores the go-ahead goal here at 6:14 of the third period. Now it's 5-4 Vancouver. And here they come again looking for more, and Brown makes, it looks like he got his arm on that one, as Vancouver has taken over some of the territorial play. Toigo, cross ice to Manning. Pass up in the neutral zone. Chapman back to collect the puck. Chapman to Barry. Barry's pass, and Barnett got mixed up there with Bulmer, and then Bludoff hits Bulmer, and there they go. Boy, that didn't take long, and down they go. Lucas Bludoff. I mean, he went right at the Vancouver player. Didn't like the hit that was thrown. Barnett up the trainer, out to get him. There is blood. Barnett, boy, does he have an assist? If he did, he'd have a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Is there blood?
Oh, yes.
You wonder with the helmets on how that punch, those punches are able to get through. I guess you just catch them below the visor, but that is the rule that you can't take them off. We'll have a look. Here's a collision. The fight was on, and Bludoff, maybe it's the punch down there. I don't know, but certainly Barnett goes right to the dressing room with a fair amount of blood on his face.
Now, is Don Hay saying there should be an instigator penalty there? I don't know what the discussion would be. Zalaski, referee, and Hay having a discussion.
Cam, can you pick up any of that discussion at all down there?
Yeah, they were just, I think you might have been asking about the instigator, and that might have been it. Now, Derek Zalaski is explaining it over to Ryan Huska as well, but it's going to be 5-on-5. That was a couple of devastating rights, though.
You had a better look at it than we were able to. He landed him with the face shield on, huh?
Yeah, that was shield on. He still drilled him right in the nose. Hard. Really hard.
Bludoff standing 6'2", 207 pounds. Barnett, 6', 191. He's listed as.
I think they're going to see a lot of league changes like we see here tonight throughout the Western Hockey League, certainly BC division. I think it's going to be an absolute dream for the fans in the Western League this year to go to games, because I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of blowouts.
It is 5 minutes each for fighting. And as everybody said, 5-on-5 hockey continues. So McColgan gets it to Callahan. Callahan up to Novotny. Here he goes. Novotny is stopped this time by Tucker. How many shots on goal has Novotny had? I have him down for at least 6. 3 in and 3 not in.
Yeah, his play is started by Callahan. He's at his own blue line, and he's got one guy he's looking for, and that is a guy that's got all those shots you're talking about. Novotny knows that if he can just get going, Callahan's got to get him the puck. He does. He goes to his backhand. Doesn't get the greatest shot he would have liked to, but Tucker this time stones him.
Deep face-off in that Vancouver zone, and it rolls right to goalkeeper Tucker, so we're going to do that again.
You know, you take a look at both these teams. We showed you their franchise the last 10 years, the dominance that they've had, and they both very, very winning, traditions in both Kelowna and Vancouver. And, passing the torch on from year to year to the guys to keep that tradition is not the easiest thing. It's like passing the baton in a relay race. You know when it's dropped in the exchange. Once you've got it, you don't lose it. And boy, both coaches want to make sure that winning tradition is passed on and grabbed by the younger guys, and they go with it.
Now here's Maine taking a shot that goes over top the net. Vancouver, Henry trying to wheel out, cannot. Now here comes Bogle with a check on the pack. I mean, this is pretty spirited stuff. First game of the year, and they are getting to the body. We've had the fight here in the period, all these lead changes. It's Kelowna versus Vancouver after all. We shouldn't expect anything less. Kyle St. Dennis, nice move, high shot. Tucker sees it all the way.
Cam, I'll throw back to you for a minute if I can. Are you noticing any special lineup matches? Are either coaches talking about getting certain guys out against others?
I think they are. I mean, obviously Kelowna's at the advantage there that they got the last change, but you can tell they're keeping an eye on who's supposed to be out there and when they're getting out there. Of course, I'm in the middle of another jawing match between these two benches, so if you're picking up some colorful language, I apologize.
Not picking it up, so it's okay. It's just for your ears only.
All
Cam.
right.
Here's Peluso. His shot trying to get it to the net. It hit a leg first. Here's a centering pass. Kadurna trying to get a stick on it. Could not. Kadurna coming off the boards.
Boy, it is scrambling.
Look at this. Yeah, it's scrambling, but it's battle too. It's a chance at the side of the net. Kadurna was there. Now goalkeeper Brown tries to draw a penalty. The referee says play on. Here comes St. Dennis. As he roams his way into the zone, he tried to then barge his way through. Gets it back again. Kyle St. Dennis. Now Poulsen's shot. That's stopped by Tucker, and he holds on to stop the play.
That entire sequence in the left corner was well played by Manning, Neil Manning of the Vancouver Giants. He uses his body well. He's not the biggest guy. He plays his angles well and his stick well. Did a nice job of making sure that puck was forced to the outside. If you're not the biggest guy, you really got to have your good defense dominated by terrific reads. Manning had a very solid shift. That puck never got out of that corner, Dan, to anybody in scoring position, and that's why the face-off is where it is. Tucker was able to make an easy save.
Shots have become a little bit more even.
Boy, have they ever.
28-25 now. Vancouver, for the most part, had a wide shot margin. They led 12-3 in that department after the first. Here's Boma going hard to the net. Boma is stopped by Brown, and Cunningham on the rebound. Couldn't get a stick on it. Boma back in the game after leaving hurt, and he just barges to the net. Not shy after taking that jolt earlier in the period.
Well, you know, you can't be shy in going to where he did either. Boma going down that left wing, you're always looking at a collision with the goaltender. And worse yet, Dan, you're looking at a collision with the goalpost. That's where he's got his head down. He's got that wide base going. He knows he's going to get to the front of the net. And again, just unlucky not to score on that one.
Henry trying to push it forward on the face-off. As Toigo with it. Here's Henry. Henry trying to get at Scheidel. He took a sharp angle shot. Rockets get the puck out to the neutral zones. We passed the halfway mark of the third period. Toigo brings it in. 5-4, Vancouver leading. Here's Henry from behind the goal. Henry. Now Gallagher. Now Toigo. Toigo, long shot. That went through traffic. Hassels trying to get it out, could not. Gallagher to Henry, and now here's a chance for Shadow. Right in, and shot goes off the target. Hit a leg first. Shadow had a pretty good opportunity. Now Manning. And here's Toigo. Toigo sends the puck in, and Barry gets possession of the puck. 9:16 to go in the third period. I don't know how many minutes Barry has logged, but it's been plenty. Been out there a lot for Ryan Huska's Rockets. He gets a rest now as Kelowna gets the puck deep into the Vancouver zone. From behind the net, Max Adolph trying to work it in front. Adolph, number 21, digging the puck free. Boy from Saskatoon, he's 17 years old. Working hard on this shift. Manning, now for Vancouver. Here's Peluso going in. Peluso shot juggled and held onto by Adam Brown. 8:40 to go, third period, 1-goal game here in the Okanagan. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Vancouver Giants trailing by 1 going into the third period. Tie it at the 3-minute mark on a power play goal Manning, good work taking it from the boards. A little deflection in front of the net there by Cunningham. Puck ends up on Barnett's stick. He ties it with his second of the night at 3, and then James Henry going to the outside. And the reason I think that puck slid in behind the goaltender is Swenson and another Vancouver Giants show up on the play, and sometimes when that happens, as a goaltender, you're not exactly sure. You lose sight of where that puck actually is, and the original play by Henry ended up in the back of the net for his first of the season and a 5-4 Vancouver lead.
And there's only 8:40 to go in the third period in this seesaw battle. Cunningham to take the face-off against Bulmer. Brett Bulmer from Prince George in that face-off circle. Chapman around these near boards. Connaughton. Now Kyle St. Denis. St. Denis rolls the puck in. Tucker plays it around the boards. Held in by Bowman. Here's a long shot. That's knocked down. And now a lead pass up for Lance Boma. Boma collecting it. Throwing it in front of the goal. Connaughton pinching. Boma. Now Bulmer for the Rockets. He'll start out. Bulmer sending it in and peeling back. Heading to the bench on a line change. Giants coming out with Toigo. Toigo to Boma. And now Toigo once more. There's a giveaway. Toigo hands it right to Novotny. Wrong guy maybe. And yes, it is the wrong guy. 5-5 tie. Turnover by Vancouver, costly, and Novotny's in on another one. Novotny, his 4th of the night, equaling what Michael Stickland did in Cranbrook 1 year ago.
Dan, Lance Boma had a chance to get that puck in deep, and when he wasn't able to do so, it ended up on Toigo's stick. A backhand pass, not the smartest thing to do if you don't know where it's going, especially as you said, they put it on Novotny's stick. He scores, it's tied at 5, his 4th of the night. You see the score up on the board, you see the time remaining, and I think this thing's maybe a long way from over.
Here's the announcement.
His 4th tonight, scored by number 9, Stepan Novotny. The goal was unassisted. Time of the goal.
There it is, it's unassisted at 12:18, and you know, I mean, what are the odds, Bill? Last year and this year, a season opener, and one player with 4 goals each night.
It's, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know how that works, but this is his 4th goal. Watch it. I think it goes off Funk. It's an own goal. It goes off his own stick. He's trying to make a check, and as that puck is just thrown, that's probably the cheesiest goal that Novotny scored all night, but he'll take it.
Connaughton from the line. That's knocked down. Now Gogol trying to move it up. Connaughton will chase back to go get it. Under 7 minutes to go. 5-5 tie. Gogol tries to move it up the boards. Peluso had it, lost it. Bareko's got it. Now the Rockets from center ice try to gain the Vancouver line. Connaughton knocks it down. Connaughton's had a nice game here for his debut with the Vancouver Giants. That's him with the puck right now. Returned by the Vancouver Canucks yesterday along with Nolan Toigo. Connaughton scored in the first period and an assist in the second period. Ballmer going wide. His shot stopped by Tucker. And he holds on to stop the play. Shots are now 32-26 in favor of Vancouver.
Said earlier, not the greatest of goaltending tonight. Neither Tucker nor Adam Brown, but maybe sometimes goaltenders are the most nervous. You see the mask on one goaltender, the white mask on Adam Brown. Well, Bruce Hamilton doesn't want his goaltenders to have painted masks. He's a white mask only guy, and that's why goaltenders playing in this Rocket uniform will not see a fancy design.
I like the tradition of keeping it clean. Lucas Bludoff. Now at the line, there's Chapman. Here's Kyle St. Dennis trying to make something happen from the corner. Lucas Bludoff playing his usual strong game. And I mean physically strong. He's tough on the puck. There he is right there. Tied up a little bit. Manning has it. St. Dennis trying to check him. The Giants get a little bit of room from back of the net. Here comes Henry out of his own zone. Henry has it taken off his stick momentarily by McColgan, but he tried to follow up, could not. Chapman now to Barry. Barry. Long pass up for Callahan. Intercepted, shot back in. Brown blocks it back to the net. Barry's got it once more. Here's McColgan trying to gain the Vancouver line. Delayed offside, and that's called. Fans were also hoping for a penalty. That was not called.
Dan, you talked about the good work Lucas Bludoff was doing in the corners, and you know, we could probably have a dozen guys out here that have done real good checking roles, and really it's all about puck support. And you know, both coaches know the importance of coaching puck support. And in a nutshell, what it really means is when you're on offense, there's just somebody real close to give it to. When you're on defense, there's always somebody real close to help you get it back. And both of these teams, when they're on, they probably do it as well as anybody.
Puck rolls into Kelowna territory. Brown leaves it for Bowman. Bowman off the glass, down the ice it goes. Will it be far enough for an icing? Apparently it is. Icing call with 4:37 to go.
A little surprised I was.